It looks as though a flare, both red and yellow, have been set off in the last few moments. Great to see the East Bank open either sides of the little no man's land, which is decorated, of course, with Aldershot Town flags. Plenty of red and blue flags here, either side, to create a guard of honour for the teams as they come out as well. Full details on those match lineups to follow very shortly, but buckle up for the Boxing Day derby. Buckle up for Shotts against Woking. Shotts 19th, Woking 17th, but very few points in it. And rest assured, whoever wins this today will end the afternoon higher than the other in the National League. Aaron Jones leads out Aldershot Town. Dale Gorman leads out Woking. Shotts in their red and blue striped shirts, red shorts and red socks. Woking in yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. The Shotts will line up as follows in a 3-4-2-1. Marcus Dewhurst in goal, Ollie Scott, Christian Maghomer and Dan Ellison, the back three. From left to right across the middle, Ryan Jones, Cameron Hargreaves, Dayan Tetek and Aaron Jones. And then Tyler Frost and James Henry, the Shotts top scorer, with 11 goals in all competitions, lining up behind Jack Barham, who's on 7 for the season so far. As for Woking, Will Jaskalainen in goal. We suspect a 4-3-2-1, a bit of a Christmas tree formation at Christmas. Back four left to right, Adam Chickson, Kean Harries, Tunji Akinola and Dion Kelly-Evans. Midfield three, couple of ex-Shotts in there, Frank Vincent, Dale Gorman, the skipper and Jermaine Anderson. Harry Beautyman and Matt Ward supporting the lone striker, a name familiar to fans of both teams, Mr. Ini Effiong, back playing for the Cards. And John, you wouldn't bet against him scoring.
You wouldn't, and you wouldn't bet against him running over to the East Bank when he does so either. He's that sort of character.
Absolutely. He's justified all his moves, the ones away from Aldershot to Dagenham and then to Braintree and now back to Woking for a second spell. One thing I always love to point out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 club mascots out there for Aldershot Town. Probably none older than the age of 11 or 12, and that is where the supporters of the future come from, John.
Absolutely. What an occasion, what a day. They'll remember it, particularly if Aldershot win today, for the rest of their lives. But fantastic to be able to run out on this pitch, which I have to say is not looking in too bad, Nick. It's a bit cut up on the near side, isn't it, by the dugouts?
Yeah, a couple of games recently have been played in teeming rain, filthy conditions, and that's what's taken it out on the pitch a little bit. But I'm fairly confident in that pitch. It looks better than it did for the last home game, which ended Aldershot down 3, Halifax 4. It's what tends to happen here. Both sides have gone into huddles. A quick hello to Dew Walters, who commentated alongside me at Forest Green just a few days ago. He's listening from Wales, can hear us loud and clear, as can Neil Hocking, who's listening from much further away in Canada. We are almost set to go here at the EBB Stadium. Aldershot Town against Woking, live on BBC Radio Surrey, live on NLTV. Shots kicking towards the High Street end in the first half, Woking towards the East Bank. A reminder that Woking are in yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. Shotts are in their home kit, red and blue striped shirts, red shorts and red socks. Woking have the kickoff, and we're all set here at the EBB with myself, Rob Worrell, and alongside me John Moore and Steve Gibbs. Woking have possession. Chickson with the ball down the left flank. Ellison should get onto that. Slightly heavy touch, goes straight into touch, throw in to Woking, almost level with the edge of the Aldershot Town penalty area. So Shotts fans we can hear loudest at the minute, but there's plenty of Woking fans in. There's a sharp turn, a cross comes in, cleared away by Maghomer. up towards Barham, gets a little flick on it, nicely into the path of Tyler Frost. He's got Henry through the middle, but he decides to hang on to it. Now he takes on Cian Harries down the right side. He's been dragged out of the middle already. Exchanges passes with James Henry and then plays it inside to Tetek. And Shots wrestle control of the possession and the territory, and then just knock it around now. Ellison Maghoma sending it out to the left side, looking for Ryan Jones. He heads it back inside. Woking should get onto it now, and they do. It's played forward by the number 30, Frank Vincent, one of 4 players in the starting lineup for Woking who've worn the red and blue of Aldershot Town. It's going to be high intensity in these opening minutes. Who's going to settle first? Who's going to strike the first blow? Throw in down the line for Woking, headed into touch, chased by Scott, and he gets it and he sends it forward. Barham will jump against Harries. Harries wins that. Frost wins the second one, and then it's flicked on by Jermaine Anderson, one of those former shots. And here's a lovely bit of skill by the number 17, Matt Ward, for Woking, and he's rather cynically pulled back. Now, our referee this afternoon is Wayne Cartmel, and I think he's been quite generous there, because that's normally a yellow card. John, would you agree?
I would, but I'm glad to see it. I hate referees getting cards out straight away, but a decent little jinking run there from Ward, and he is a player to watch out for.
Absolutely. A nod as well from Steve Gibbs there. We're not going to go to both summarisers every time. We'll try and pick and choose between them depending on what it is we want their comments on. Still a little bit of flare smoke just drifting away towards the railway line at the East Bank end. It's Gorman who stood over this free kick, the Cards skipper. He's just outside the centre circle, but the defensive line is high. Some intriguing battles this afternoon. One of those is going to be Ini Effiong against Christian Maghoma. Both going to be big, strong, physical. But who's going to dominate, and can they do it legally and fairly? Referee Cartmel says, come on, send it in. We might as well get on with it, despite all the pushing and shoving. In it comes from Gorham over the top, and Jones lets it run across his body, and then he volleys it forward. Barham will jump with Chickson. Lovely header from Barham into the path of Frost. It's coming down the right hand side. Henry, Hargreaves and Barham all started making their way up the centre of the pitch, but Chickson sends it into touch, and he's first to react as well, as Aaron Jones' throw is cut out again by Chickson, the former, so prolific in his time on the left side of defence and attacking down the left for Notts County. He had a run of form a little bit like Gus Scott Morris did for Southend at the start of the season, and Jeff King for Halifax a couple of years before that. Chesterfield, I beg your pardon. Here's Ryan Jones then coming over to the right side to take this throw with 3.5 minutes in. Shots nil, Cards nil. In comes the throw from Ryan Jones. Easy one for Chickson to control and then think about his next forward pass. That was poor from Jones. I don't think he got hold of it as he meant to. Here's Chickson now onto another ball, goes back to Harries even, and Harries quickly pressed by Ryan Jones, puts it into touch. It's going to be a little bit nervy coming back to the EBB, where he divided opinion. Scored 8 penalties out of 8, but some felt he was a little bit slow and cumbersome at times. There's a corner won by James Henry against Chickson, and the Shots get the first corner of the game down at the High Street end. 4 minutes 20 seconds gone. Ryan Jones is going to take it. John Moore?
Yeah, Woking guilty really of faffing around a little with the ball, trying to play out from the back. Just sometimes put your foot through it, clear your lines.
Excellent, that's John Moore. We'll also be hearing this afternoon from Steve Gibbs, the former Aldershot Town media manager. We'll try and give you the most balanced commentary we can. We're in the 5th minute, it's 0-0. Ryan Jones, one up in the air, sends an in-swinger to the near post. Think it's come off the Woking player. It has. It was difficult to tell. Henry and is it Akinola? Akinola, who made a run to the near post, and it went behind again. So it's a second consecutive corner to the Shots, asking some early questions here of the Woking defence. Ryan Jones again sends it in again to the near post. Ooh, Aaron Jones almost got a flick on it. Woking come away with the ball and then send it forward. Good headed winner from Ollie Scott, and he finds Ryan Jones, who's got Aaron Jones out to the right of him if he uses him, but he takes on one, then another, goes to the byline, and he just overruns it. It'll be a goal kick to Woking. 5.5 minutes gone. 0-0. John Moore.
You know, Woking's formation, playing this 4-3-2-1, the Christmas tree formation as they call it, you know, it's good in some respects. You pack the midfield areas, but I think it leaves you exposed out on the flanks, and it's going to be interesting to see whether Aldershot, you know, try and get players down the wing, get some width.
Woking are going to play out from the back, but Harries clips it forward, and onto the ball is Beautyman, sends the ball out to the right for that man Ward to chase. On the right hand side, just outside the penalty area, can he get the ball in? He's being well shackled by Ollie Scott, who's done so well in what we might call the Ollie Harfield position from last season. There, Frost goes in, he can't win it. Ward comes away from the ball. They're still around the edge of the area. A strong challenge from Ollie Scott, and he takes down Gorman, and the free kick's given against Aldershot. The cheers from the Woking fans in the corner, and now it's Woking's turn for a set piece at the other end. John Moore.
Yeah, you can already see Matt Ward trying to get on the ball as much as possible. He doesn't lack for confidence. He always wants to take his man on, and he started strongly for Woking. And undercards a free kick over on that far side.
Yes, just outside the... it's halfway between the penalty area and the touchline on the right-hand side, about 2 or 3 yards inside the penalty area in terms of its distance towards goal. Gorman's going to send it in right-footed. Effiong is up there, Akinola's up there. There's a bit of wrestling going on between Maghomer and Effiong. In comes the ball, half cleared, headed back in by Ward, volleyed clear by Tetek up towards Barham, who holds it up, tries an early ball forward over his right shoulder, but that's cut out by Woking. Here's Harries, picks the ball up, he's quickly shut down by Frost. You can tell Barham, Jones, Frost, they've all tried to shut down Harries quickly. It's exactly what we expected, just as Aldershot did when they came up against Tyler Cordner. It's different kind of players, but both guilty sometimes of taking a moment or two too long. Here's Woking coming forward, no foul there. Frost wins the ball, gives it to James Henry. Henry to Tetek. Tetek thinks about slipping a pass through a corridor forward for Aaron Jones, but Jones just holds his run, goes back inside to Cameron Hargreaves. Nearly 8 minutes gone already, listeners and viewers. 5 seconds short of that now. 0-0. Ollie Scott in possession. Shots coming forward. Maghomer can see Aaron Jones out here on the right flank. He chooses to feed the ball to Dan Ellison. Hargreaves has got it, can't see an obvious pass, goes back to Ellison, wants a little forward run into the channel, and Woking just dropping off a little bit, leaving just Effiong up out of possession and saying, come and pass it through us. Aldershot go across through Scott to Ryan Jones. Jones, man of the match in the last home game, scored the Shots goal just before half-time at Forest Green. A little bit of a fortunate deflection on it, but if you don't shoot, you don't score. Tetek back to Ellison. Shots patient in their build-up here. Frost has got it, turns inside to Hargreaves. Hargreaves running across the edge of the final third, feeds it to Tetek. Aldershot trying to be patient. Aaron Jones tries to time a run forward. Now he'll get it from Tyler Frost. Steps off his man, goes backwards to Ellison. 9 minutes gone, 0-0 in the Shots Woking Boxing Day derby here on BBC Radio Surrey. A reminder that Crawley are losing at Leyton Orient. A couple of second half goals have taken that one away from them a little bit. But here we await who is going to strike first, and a little bit of an eerie hush in the ground. So Maghomer not being pressed, and he has time to choose his option, which is out to the left for Ryan Jones. But a good win out there by Dion Kelly-Evans. He feeds Matt Ward, who looks very lively, but he's been dispossessed by Ryan Jones. He comes back strongly though and pokes it into touch and gets a big cheer from the Woking fans. So we approach the 10-minute mark. I'll get the thoughts of the former Shots media manager Steve Gibbs in a minute. He's keeping his powder dry just now, but we'll get his thoughts. It's been pretty even for me. We'll see what Steve thinks in a minute. And Woking just standing off Aldershot a little bit, but making the next pass difficult. Clipped forward. Harries gets a little header on it. Barham touches it forward, goes behind. Goal kick to Woking, away to our right. And let's go then to Steve Gibbs for your thoughts on the first 10 minutes. 0-0, Steve. Not a lot in it.
There isn't, no. I think the Shots have maybe had the most telling moments of pressure and possession, already looking likely how they might exploit some weaknesses in this Woking defence, particularly, as you said, pressing Cian Harris, using the overload with the wing backs pushing forward and forcing the Woking fullbacks Chickson and Kelly Evans backwards. But yeah, the game needs a chance, needs something to open it up, and then we could have a bit of a classic on our hands.
Thank you, Steve Gibbs. Sat alongside myself, Rob Worrell and John Moore. 10 3/4 minutes gone. Shots nil, Woking nil. Couple of goals elsewhere in the National League already. AFC Fylde 1, Rochdale nil, and Southend United 1, Ebbsfleet nil. Two home sides striking early on. Here's Gorman touching it inside, and Akinola steps past Tetek. Tetek cleverly, I'd say, brings him down in such that it's probably only going to be a foul and nothing more. Couple of opportunities. If Cartmel was going to wave, the referee was going to wave cards around like confetti. He could have shown 2 to Aldershot Town already. 1 for Tetek and 2, I'm not quite sure who it was early on that chopped down Matt Ward in full flight. Here's Woking taking the free kick. How's Harry's been then for Woking in the first half of the season, John, as the ball goes through the middle? Bit of a wrestling match between Maghoma and Effiong. Cartmel not interested. How's Harry's settled in the first half of the season at Woking?
I think he divides opinion as he did here. You know, he's a player who has got attributes. He's got a great foot on him, you know, can pass the ball, spread it, but he's not the quickest and he's not the best in the air either. Funny enough, I know he did well from the penalty spot here for Aldershot, but his record wasn't so good for Woking. He took one diabolical one away. I can't remember where it was, where he literally passed it straight to the keeper.
And he's now off.
And he was originally brought in so Woking could play with 3 at the back. And
here they go.
They're now playing with
into the penalty area. Effiong. Oh, is that going to be a penalty? It is. Maghoma dived in. He missed the ball. He caught Effiong. No complaints at all with that decision. Ref was well placed. It's a penalty to Woking early on. 12.5 minutes gone. John Moore, clear?
Absolutely, yeah, a stonewall penalty. Effiong was brought down. You know, he was about to escape his marker, try and get his shot away, and that's a clear penalty for me.
Steve Gibbs?
Yeah, unfortunately, Maghoma dives in. Didn't seem to be much danger, but then the defender just off his feet. Penalty all day.
Well, they've been wrestling each other off the ball. There, Aldershot almost cleared the ball, but it ended up going to Effiong. Now, interestingly, it's not Ini Effiong who's taken the penalty. It's Harry Beautyman against Marcus Dewhurst in the 14th minute here at the EBB. Can Woking strike first? Beautyman right-footed against Dewhurst. Sends him the wrong way. Woking are ahead. 13.5 minutes gone in the Boxing Day derby.
Yeah, Woking's first meaningful attack really brings them dividends. It was a clear penalty. I wondered whether Effiong was going to take it, but Beautyman, he picked up the ball and he dispatched it very, very calmly right down the middle. Never in doubt, and Woking 1-0 up.
Yeah, he was just to the left of where the keeper was, Dewhurst. Dewhurst dived to the right. What a terrific start for the Cards, and what a start in his tenure at the Laithwaite for Neil Ardley. Seeing off Altrincham 2-1 in the first game, and now taking the lead here at the EBB. Neil Ardley, the Midas touch.
It's early days, Rob. Come on, there's a long, long way to go. You know, and it was a pretty cagey affair up until then, really, and I thought it was a needless challenge from the Aldershot defender. It really, really was. But, you know, they find themselves 1-0 down.
I think there was 3 defenders in the vicinity. Effiong still needed to have a touch and then get a shot away. I think the shots players were well positioned to get a block on, but they didn't get that opportunity. And Maghoma, who was superb at Forest Green just a few days ago, coming back into the side. He'd had a difficult run actually prior to that return, and here at the EBB he's nibbled away at the wrong man in the wrong place at the wrong time. Effiong, though, had to be a bystander whilst Harry Beautyman took the penalty. Sent Marcus Dewhurst the wrong way, and the Cards lead. We're now 15 and a half minutes in. I think the goal will be timed at 14, which is unlucky John and unlucky Steve, because I treated them to a golden goal today, and they had 17 and 19, so you can rip those up, fellas.
Don't worry, I will. Not that I'm bitter and twisted, Rob.
Ball forward, Henry's in there, and he lifts it over the top, and I don't think he was given offside. A Woking player slipped over as well. Steve, let me come to you on that one. No flag went up, did it? And the ball bounced and skidded on a bit. Henry got onto it, but he lifted his shot wide.
Yeah, there was a run from deep from James Henry, and the form he's in, you think, and the quality that he's got with his experience, I don't think he quite knew exactly where he was on the pitch. He tried to hook it goalwards, but he was barely a yard or so away from that near post. Couldn't get the angle right in the end. I think that's a bit of a let off for Woking, but James Henry should be doing better.
Yeah, I think he should be trying to get that on target. I agree. I think he didn't really quite have his radar right as to where he was.
Well, I wondered really if he thought he was offside, really, because he didn't look that convincing to me, his body language.
Yeah, stick I think it you're right. First.
Exactly,
Ask questions later. Yeah.
Precisely.
Ryan Jones is going to take a long throw into the penalty area here from the left side. In it comes, approaching the 17th minute mark. Ellison directs something towards goal, and John Moore holds his hand on his heart, because I think, John, you thought that was going in.
I did. I thought that had sneaked in at the near post.
And you know what? Dan Ellison has had now something like 7, 8 or 9 headed opportunities in opposition penalty areas since he joined Aldershot Town on loan, and it just won't go in for him. One of several players in the Aldershot lineup that haven't opened their account yet for the shots. Here's one on the ball. Cameron Hargreaves always turned into trouble. Well picked off by Effiong, whose pass goes slightly behind Dion Kelly-Evans. And he goes back to Tunji Akinola, who goes back to Will Jaskalainen. And Effiong did really well there. But here's Aldershot winning a loose ball in midfield. Hargreaves does much better with his turn and pass this time. Finds Ollie Scott. Ball up towards Henry. He thinks he's fouled. Referee's not given it. Ball up to Effiong. This time Maghoma nibbles in early and makes contact with the ball. And that's his kind of game, you see. But I agree with you. I think we're all unanimous. It was a penalty, and he didn't need to be going in there the way he did on the person he did. No qualms at all about Effiong. I think he was absolutely entitled to go down, and I think the actual challenge might well have genuinely taken him down.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's any question that Innie had a right to go down. The tackle took him off his feet.
More goals in the National League elsewhere. Solihull Moors, the second side to score away from home. They're 1-0 up at Boston. Gateshead 1-0 up at home to Hartlepool, and Rochdale have equalised at Fylde. Here at the EBB, we're 18 and a half minutes in, and the Cards lead thanks to a 14th minute penalty tucked away by Harry Beautyman for a foul on Innie Effiong from Maghoma. Here's Henry picking the ball up on the edge of the penalty area. Will he try a shot from distance? He might. He thinks about it. And then he plays a ball into the inside left channel looking for Ryan Jones, and he overhits it, goes behind the goal, and we're all be thinking, I'm sure, Steve Gibbs, that we wouldn't have minded him having a pop at goal there.
Yeah, that was maybe the most obvious choice. I think the pass to Ryan Jones was perhaps the better option, but he just overhit it. He's not quite started at his usual high standard, James Henry, but he will come good.
Here's Woking in their own half. Gorman pinging the ball out to the right hand side, beautifully controlled by Matt Ward, and then he plays it down the right channel to Effiong. Effiong's up against Maghoma again. Maghoma can't stop him getting it in, but Dewhurst snaffles the ball, and he's got a Woking player behind him who throws himself down, or maybe just trips. Let's say it was a trip for Beautyman. To be fair, he didn't appeal that Dewhurst had caught him. We don't need any of that shenanigans this afternoon. Let's have a good old pure game of football. I think he tripped. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He just tripped, didn't he? He just lost his foot, and he knew he was running close. Nods from John and Steve. No need for further comment. So a big crowd here. We'll confirm what that is later. 4,750 tickets pre-sold. It will be over 5,000. There's a flick on from Barham looking for Henry. Henry is getting the furthest forward shots player quite a lot of times today. Barham's dropping off a little bit. They're almost working it between them, almost like there's 3 number 10s at times. There's a strong header from Maghoma. The ball comes back to him and then off him and into touch. Throw into Woking just inside the Aldershot Town half. 20 and a half minutes gone. Aldershot Town 0, Woking 1. Here's John Moore.
Yeah, there was an example you see of Matt Ward in his tenacity. He's not the biggest, but he doesn't half get stuck in for a little guy.
Aldershot pressing Woking in possession. Ball straight through the middle. That'll go all the way through to Marcus Dewhurst. He has a touch out to the left. Now he'll clear forward with his left down the left channel. And James will start the chase, but he starts the chase a little bit after Tunji Akinola, who goes across to his keeper. That was actually on target, that pass back to his keeper. Slightly worrying there as Jaskalar got a little bit of a hurry on. Effiong gets a flick just ahead of Maghoma. Ollie Scott clears it forward. Barham jumps, can't get any contact, and there's a calm header back to goal by Adam Chickson, and we're pretty much at the halfway point. Another minute or so in the first half. Steve, we came to you after 10 minutes, pretty even, we all agreed, but a few minutes after that, of course, that challenge from Maghoma, perhaps unnecessary. Woking ahead now. And it'll really suit them the way the game is. I'll come to you in a minute because, in fact, no, I'll come to you now because the ball forward out to the right-hand side finds touch, throw into Aldershot in the left-back position.
Yeah, absolutely. Inevitably, the penalty, that tackle is the pivotal moment in the game so far. But aside from the penalty, I think Aldershot Town have committed 4 other fouls, and I think that's symptomatic. They've not got to grips with the energy, the physicality, the aggression of this Woking performance at the moment, and that's why they're ahead.
Yeah, here they are in possession. Woking on the their right side. They briefly lose it and then win it back, and then a lovely looking cross into the area, bounces down off the head of a Woking player, and Dewhurst saves it going behind anyway. Now, on New Year's Day, Woking will entertain Maidenhead at the Lathway, and Aldershot Town will travel up the road to Gander Green Lane to take on Sutton, and Sutton have taken the lead at Barnet at the Hive, where I'm pretty sure Barnet have not lost all season. Halifax came away from there with a draw a few days ago, but
Rob, have you worked out why teams don't play each other again on New Year's Day? I mean, it is such a nonsense, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I don't know the reason why. I know that they're all the reverse of these games are all at Easter now rather than New Year's Day. I don't know. Aldershot going to Sutton, that's a fairly local game, and I guess Woking Maidenhead relatively is as well. I don't know. Maybe there's some thought gone into it in terms of the crowds, but you're always going to get big crowds on those days, whoever's playing. There's a ball down the right hand side. Kelly Evans gets it in, and it's almost touched in by Effiong. Couldn't quite get there. Shots play it forward. Chickson wins the header and sends it into a good area. Anderson knocks it into the path of Gorman. One thing I haven't had the opportunity to give my say on the teams, just looking at the Woking 11 on paper, it looks superb for this level of football, and I completely agree with some of our pre-match stuff that they really should be higher in the table than they are. Is that a foul on Ryan Jones? No, nothing given, and Woking break. Beautyman's got it. Effiong makes the run down the left-hand side. He's going to get there just inside the penalty area. He turns now and faces up Maghoma. Maghoma gets a slight deflection on the pass intended into the box. It's headed away, only to the edge of the area. Gorman squares it across to Chickson. Chickson shoots. Ollie Scott heads away, up towards Tyler Frost, who shields it and then sends it over the top. That'll be one in the air by Akinola. He can only head it to Tetek. And Tetek tries a first-time pass out to the right to Barham, who was in a bit of space, but it was too strong. Otherwise, he could have exposed Harries with a run one-on-one. John Moore.
Yeah, and at the moment, Woking enjoying a lot of possession. They really are very dominant in midfield, and trying to get the ball over to Matt Ward on that right-hand side as much as possible. They've obviously spotted a weakness, but at the moment, Woking very much in control.
Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Braintree 2. Dagenham having a wretched run other than the FA Cup, in which they're still in. Here's Chickson taking an age over this throw, gives it to Harries. Harries is quickly shut down by Barham, but Barham can only poke it into touch. And Wokin's first job, whatever the game plan, first 20 minutes, get through it, no alarms, don't go behind. They've done better than that. They lead by 1-0. They've led against Aldershot in these derbies previously and had things turned around. Now, 2 players have gone in there, fully committed. Ryan Jones for Aldershot, and I think Dion Kelly Evans. John will confirm, and they've both come off worse. Perhaps Kelly Evans the worst of the two, although it looks like they're all both getting to their feet.
Yeah, but Kelly Evans, he's a tough little player, and I think he'll be fine. And again, look, it's sensible refereeing. He didn't flourish any cards. He just gets on with the game so far, which is what you want to see. Particularly in a derby game, things can get out of control, but the referee's just going calmly about his business.
There are only 5 teams in the National League below Aldershot. 2 of them, or below Woking, I beg your pardon, below Aldershot, but Wealdstone are in between. Of the sides currently in the bottom 4, I think Maidenhead are best placed to get out of it, just because of the sheer nous and experience of Alan Devonshire. They're taking on Wealdstone today, and they're 1-0 up. Here's a ball forward from Woking. Aaron Jones is looking to shepherd it out behind, and really good play, I thought, from Beautyman there. I thought he got to the line, played it off of Jones behind the goal, but he must have been just over the line already. In fairness to the referee, Wayne Cartmel, he was pretty well placed, and he's given the goal kick to the shots. Marcus Dewhurst to take. 27 minutes very nearly gone here at the EBB, where in North East Hampshire it is Aldershot Town 0, Woking 1. Henry is beaten in the air by Akinola, but he can only head it to Jones. Jones exchanges passes with Ollie Scott, and he's making ground down the left-hand side now. He's up to the edge of the area, tries to send it in. Frost! Goal! For Tyler Frost! Simplicity personified, really. Ollie Scott to Ryan Jones. Jones squares it, and Tyler Frost pulls the trigger from just inside the penalty area. No chance for Jaskalainen, and it ripples the back of the net. 27.5 minutes gone. It's a goal apiece. Shots 1, Woking 1. Steve Gibbs.
Fantastic finish from Tyler Frost. It sat up really nicely. He leathered it, and it was the power as much as anything that beat Jaskalainen. But the precision and the control of the finish as well was superb. He could have lashed at it and it gone anywhere. In this occasion, he could have lost his head, could have lost his composure, but no. Absolutely superb, controlled finish from Tyler Frost. And that's what Aldershot Town haven't had in their passing in recent moments. Woking have been by far the superior team. They've had a visible game plan. They've looked like they know what they're doing and where they're passing. Aldershot Town had been pretty shambolic in the basics of the game. But now, somehow, they are level.
Okay, you're giving chiefly our shots opinion and John chiefly our Woking. I'm just going to say I disagree. I think shambolic's a really strong word to use about the opening 28 minutes for Aldershot today, but we can disagree, Steve. That's fine. We're old enough, ugly enough.
Yeah, maybe shambolic was a bit strong, but yeah. I think it's heading that way. Aldershot Town Woking were visibly the more controlled,
and the shots have equalised a little bit against the run of play for sure. Here's Aldershot doing well in the left back position, but it's not Ollie Scott, it's Ryan Jones back there. He's just assisted the goal. He's having a good run at the moment. Let's look at and just consider the equaliser, John, from a Woking point of view. It was pretty simple.
It came out of nothing. It was great work by the winger. Fantastic cross, and my goodness me, what an emphatic finish. He absolutely leathered it. It was a superb goal.
It sat nicely and he struck it cleanly, and I don't think Jaskalainen had any chance at all. And other than Henry's ball that he lifted wide when he didn't quite realise where he was in relation to the goal, that's the only chance Aldershot Town had created.
Yeah, but I did say that I think with Woking's formation, where you get them is down the flanks, and I don't think either fullback, Kelly Evans or Chickson, is particularly strong up against a wide man who's got a bit of trickery and pace.
And another point worth discussing, Steve, coming back to you, is that we've had the Henry lifted effort wide and that beautifully constructed goal and finish, but really, other than the penalty, Woking haven't really. I've not made any notes of efforts on goal from them. So for this level of football, quite clinical from both teams so far.
Yeah, it has been, but I think Woking had visibly been the more composed team. I think they've been passing the ball better than Aldershot Town, but yeah, whether deserved or not against the run of play or not, the shots are level, but Woking very dangerous going forwards.
And here they are now, going straight through the middle. Matt Ward in possession, heavy touch, he's gone wide. Dewhurst comes out, goes back in, now to the far post. Beautyman's going to shoot on target, he's shot wide, and it almost hits Ryan Jones and goes in. Is he given the goal? No. What on earth is going on here?
I think that was handball. It was Jones on the line.
No, it's no goal, it's 1-1. Sorry, Steve. Yeah,
Jones on the line.
Referee's pointing back to the middle.
The ball hit him, and he managed to do a little do-si-do with the ball, managed to not put it into the net, cleared it, and as he cleared it, as the ball flew out of the penalty area, it inadvertently hit a Woking hand.
Unbelievable. Listeners, viewers, you'll have seen what happened, but listeners, the shot was going wide, but then it hit Ryan Jones and very nearly went in at the far post. As Steve correctly says, he did a bit of a swivel and then eventually cleared it. And the next thing I saw was the referee pointing towards the centre circle. John Moore, I thought he'd given a goal.
I'm still giggling away here. I mean, it was a lightning break again from Woking. That man, Matt Ward, he's causing all sorts of problems. He drifted inside, and it was Beautyman, I think, who didn't get too clean a strike on it, but I thought it was going to creep in, and the Aldershot player did really, really well on the line to get something on it. Otherwise, it would have been Woking 2-1 up. But, this game full of twists and turns at the moment.
Throw into Woking in the right-back position. 32 minutes exactly gone, and it's 1-1 here. We didn't mention this on air, but these were the predictions of the three of us today. John Moore, 2-2. Steve Gibbs, 3-2. Rob Worrell, 3-2. Here's Henry running to the edge of the area. Ball breaks loose. Frost's onto it. Hargreaves picks it up. Can't see a forward pass. Goes back to Ollie Scott, and the Shots keep possession. Frost is going to ping it out to the right hand side. Oh, it's trapped by Barham. Oh, it's back off the post. Half cleared. Now Aaron Jones is into it on the right hand side of the penalty. It was offside anyway. It wouldn't have counted. Frost was looking for a pass out to Jones. He mishit it. Barham trapped it. Left-footed effort. Came back off the upright. He would have been given offside anyway. It remains 1-1, and this game is starting to provide some drama, Steve Gibbs.
It is. It's opening up. It's coming to life. I'm not sure whether it was Jack Barham that was offside or James Henry who chased in to meet the rebound off the post. But yeah, I think Woking are fortunate that ball did hit the post, because Jaskalainen's dive appeared desperate and in vain.
Keith Deere, thank you for sending me a little video clip. We don't have replays here of the penalty. I'll look at it at half time. I'm not expecting, none of the three of us have expected to see anything we didn't see with our naked eye. A clear penalty, no arguments whatsoever. I don't think there were many from Aldershot either. Here's Ryan Jones sending the ball down the left flank. It'll bounce once, twice, and be gathered in by Will Jaskalainen. Good afternoon as well to Gina Balston and Ellie, I'm sure. Merry Christmas to you, happy Boxing Day, and thanks for tuning into the NLTV coverage. Here's Harry's sending the ball out left to Chickson, who's quickly shut down by Aaron Jones. That one will go into touch, throw in to Woking. Approaching the 34-minute mark. The Cards taking the lead in the 14th minute with that Harry Beautyman penalty. Shots levelling on 28 minutes through. Tyler Frost, just his third goal of the season. There's a brave win from Hargreaves, and then Frost tries to send a return pass to him, but he gets his radar and his weight of pass horribly wrong on that occasion. But the Shots fans, I'm sure, will forgive him, because his little rasper from just inside the penalty area has put them level. And a highly competitive game with very few clear-cut chances is all level. 10.5 minutes before half-time. Here at the EBB is Ellison. Jumping with Beautyman. Neither of them can win it. Effiong onto the next ball. Maghoma pokes it into touch. Taken quickly by Chickson. Beautyman sends a... that's well dealt with by Akinola. It wasn't the best pass to give him there, just in front of his back line. Here's Frost battling away. He's having his shirt pulled, nothing given. Hargreaves lifts it forward. Aldershot might have been better with a free kick. Barham scrapping for the... he's fighting for the scraps, and he's got one. Plays it off of Beautyman. He's back, but Ellison's now got it just inside the Woking half, squares it to Hargreaves. NLTV viewers, bear with us with the fully descriptive commentary, of course. So we've got a lot of listeners on the radio and online that won't be seeing the same action you are. Here is Ryan Jones, assisted the shots equaliser. He's just inside the Woking half. He can't see a way forward at the moment, and that's one thing. Get thoughts from John Moore in a minute. Out of possession, Woking look incredibly well organised. The ball out to the right wing. Byron will chase. He's not going to get there. Bounces 2 or 3 times. Disappears behind the goal away to our right. 36 minutes very nearly gone, John. And yeah, for a side that Ardley's only been in charge of for less than a game and a half, they do seem quite assured of what they're doing out of possession. Is that clear instruction from Ardley, or is that them just continuing the way they've been playing in that respect?
No, not at all, really. I think the thing you can say about Neil Ardley is he's stamped his ideas on this team already, and they look much more disciplined, much more aware of what they're doing. And a big thing for me is he's playing players in the right position. You know, Doyle was guilty at times of having square pegs in round holes far too often, and to me they all look like they know what they're doing out there.
Here's Chickson under pressure from Frost. Oh, Frost's won it, pokes it to Barham, but Barham is offside, and the EBP home faithful don't like it, but that was evident and clear to us guys in the box. 3 nods, or 2 nods, and my verbal opinion.
It was offside, unfortunately, and I think Jack either knew it, an instinct just took him on, or he should have known it. And you could see Tyler Frost's ire and angst at that excellent win not being capitalised upon any further.
That's Steve Gibbs. Alongside him is John Moore and myself, Rob Worrell. 37 minutes gone. Here's Jaskalainen going straight down the middle. Maghoma beats Effiong in the air, but Anderson's on to the next ball. Effiong will try a shot from distance, and he's got that in his locker. It goes wide. But if the Aldershot goal was simple, that was even simpler, wasn't it? A knockdown, Anderson just feeding it back to Effiong, and he thought, do you know what, I'm outside the area, I'm going to have a go. And we've seen those fly in for him in the colours of many football teams.
We have. They either fly in or go out the stadium. But, you know, you can say what you like about him. He is a handful, and playing this formation with one up top, he's an ideal man to have in your side, as Woking have now. You know, I think it was a really good move to bring him in, because Woking looked so lightweight up top.
Here's Jones picking up the ball on halfway. Great tackle from Matt Ward, working back. He can only push it into the path of Ollie Scott, though. Scott's going down the left, and he may have lost possession now. Aldershot and Woking both competing fiercely. Here Ellison can only hit the ball up in the air. Hargreaves battling for it. Tetek gets a foot in. Ward gets it, but he's quickly dispossessed by Ollie Scott. But referee Wayne Cartmel gives a free kick. Now Ollie Scott's got to be a little bit careful. I think that's at least 3 fouls, and he could be in danger of being the first, but he's not going to get a yellow card at this point.
I think that was what Gorman, the Woking skipper, was saying to the referee. But, you know, again, to be fair to this referee, he's going about his business. He's not letting the occasion get to him, and he's refereeing very sensibly. Cracking
game in the North East derby of sorts. Gateshead 2, Hartlepool 1. And it's Tamworth 0, Forest Green Rovers 1. Here's Ellison winning a header, but can only send it into the path of Jermaine Anderson. Anderson plays it off of Tetek. Wonderful player, Jermaine Anderson, another one who's graced the red and blue of Aldershot Town. Had his injury problems when he was here. A couple of, or one of those was very serious, and it ended his time. Here's a ball up towards Barham. We can't get it under control. The ball goes back to Aaron Jones. Frost gets there just in front. Oh, the referee's given the free kick the other way. He's misread it. He's misread it. He didn't have a clear view. He didn't have the view that we've had, John. And he's given a free kick to Woking on halfway, and everybody just needs to calm down, because it is on halfway. But you can understand why Tyler Frost's a little bit incensed there.
Yeah, I mean, we heard the whack from here, but you know, it was an honest challenge. It was a ball that was there to be won.
I think he was entitled to go in for it, Gorman. I think it's just the fact that he missed the ball, caught Frost, and he's actually ended up getting the free kick. Frost needs to be a little bit careful. You can't show too much dissent. I think he's asking politely, but he can't believe it. But It doesn't matter. It's just a free kick. It's on halfway, and with 5 minutes before half time, 1-1. John Moore.
Yeah, you know, it's been an absorbing half. It really has. It started off in quite a cagey fashion. Obviously Woking took the lead. They enjoyed a real spell of possession, and then Aldershot scored a fabulous goal to pull it back, and thereafter it's been kind of nip and tuck really. The game's been ebbing and flowing. It's a difficult one to call at the moment.
Harries is going to take the free kick on halfway. He's going to send it out diagonally to the right, where Effiong is up against 2 Aldershot Town players, sandwiched a little bit. The pincer movement, they clear it forward. Akinola's onto that, wonderful control. It goes back to Jaskalainen, who kicks out to the right hand side. It's kept in by Dion Kelly-Evans, and then the ball comes loose and is eventually squared across to Chickson to Harries, and Harries sends it straight into touch, looking to get a bit more whip on the ball than he did. A few ironic jeers from the Shots faithful. I guess the worst thing you can ever do is go back to a former side and you don't get any jeers. It means they don't even remember you, doesn't it? Throw in taken by Shots. Ellison forward, ball through to the middle. Very clever bit of holding off from Akinola just to stop Henry wriggling free. I don't think, bless him, at the age of 35 he'd have got on to the end of that one anyway, as much as he's kept himself in excellent shape. And he comes into this game, obviously the last game of 2024, but with 11 goals to his name in the red and blue of Aldershot Town. Terrific seasoned professional, I think is the word we'd use. There's a good winner from Ellison. Aaron Jones lifts a ball over the top. Barham controls it nicely. Wants to get one-on-one against Harries if he can. Harries tries to tackle him, and Harries wins that one. Does well. Turns it into the path of Anderson, and Tetek does well against Anderson. The ball comes off him and goes back to Jaskalainen, and 42 and a quarter minutes gone. Aldershot Town 1, Woking 1. And a bit of an eerie, quiet atmosphere in the ground. It's all about getting the bragging rights, and nobody's got them right now, have they? Because it's exactly where we started, a point apiece. Yeah,
it's been a really good half of football, I think.
Oh, there's a knock-on, deft one from Effiong. Woking have got it on the right side. Dion Kelly-Evans, and now a ball into Matt Ward. Oh, lovely turn from him to the edge of the area, tries to get it in. It's blocked behind by Ollie Scott. Corner to Woking, and if we were given the man of the match, which we're not right now, I think for Woking, I think we know where it would be going, John, to the number 17.
Yeah, he's been fabulous so far. What I really love is his confidence. He wants to get on the ball, even if he loses it, it doesn't put him off. He wants to take his man on.
Corner then to Woking. They struck first today. Can they strike again before half time? We're into the last 2 minutes of the first half. Corner, right-footed outswinger at the East Bank end. In it comes, good delivery. Half cleared by Maghomer, and then 2 players go down. This time it's a free kick to Aldershot in their own penalty area. And Aldershot tried to take it quickly, but from about 7 or 8 yards ahead of where it should have been. A few groans around the stadium, but they can have no complaints. Aaron Jones sends it back to Dewhurst, who'll now take the free kick. And we are probably 70 seconds plus whatever's added on away from half time, and if things stay as they are, it'll be on as even at the break. If you've joined us late, Woking took the lead from the penalty spot in the 14th minute. Maghomer fouling Effiong, Beautyman tucking it away, and then Ollie Scott, Ryan Jones and Tyler Frost combined to level for the Shots on 28 minutes. Here's a knockdown into the path of Ward again. Hargreaves is there. He gets a vital foot in and pokes it back towards his own goal, where Dewhurst picks it up because it was more of a tackle than a back pass. He rolls it out to Ollie Scott. Matt Ward wanted a free kick. Referee's been quite consistent for me, Wayne Cartmel, in terms of what he's given. I don't think it was controversial, the penalty at all, nor does Steve or John for that matter. Here's Ellison in his own half, being shut down now by Beautyman, and he goes back to Maghomer, who feeds Ollie Scott. Scott exchanges passes with Hargreaves and then makes his way forward. He's got Frank Vincent towing him, and then he pings it out to the right. Good looking ball out to Aaron Jones. Takes it under control by the touchline. Sends it in to Dayan Tetek. Tetek will square it now to Hargreaves. Hargreaves will shift it left. think we just had the added minutes. 3 added minutes. Shots on the attack. 1-1 here. Jones to Henry. Back to Ollie Scott. Back to Ryan Jones. Jinks it onto his right foot. Sends a ball in. Oh, Barham spun. Got a little effort in. Claims the corner. Not given. And it would seem evident, Steve Gibbs, that from around about the penalty spot, Jack Barham has just diverted that wide. Or did he not get any contact?
I think he did get some contact, but not as clean as he wanted. I think he was trying to claim that Cian Harris either got a flick or it was deflected off him, but for me, pure and simply, Jack didn't connect with that cleanly. But it was a half-decent opportunity.
Huge goal kick from Jääskeläinen. Oh, Maghomas reels back from the challenge with Effiong. It's lifted forward by Ellison. Harries is battling away with Jääskeläinen, coming to the edge of his area, and he just holds off Jack Barham. Cian Harries, always a player that appears very composed. He was a little shaky with his first couple of touches in the game today, and that didn't surprise me. He was much the same when Aldershot went to Swindon in that FA Cup win, that 7-4, because he wasn't particularly liked or rated at Swindon. And my goodness me, when he tucked away his penalty that day, he played his part in an excellent shots win. Well, Maghoma pulls down Effiong, good 15-20 yards outside of his penalty area. Woking don't even appeal for the foul, but Cartmel gives it, and Woking are probably going to have the final say of this first half. John Moore.
Yeah, I think the ref's been keeping a careful eye on the battle between the pair of them, and he just decided that was a little too much there against Effiong, and I think it was a right call. But
yeah,
it's so difficult, isn't it, when you've got two big guys wrestling away.
He's had a penalty given against him this season for doing the same thing inside the penalty area. If the referee spots your two hands through around the torso of the player pulling on him,
and you know, why do that at this stage in the game?
Exactly. 1-1, and we're into the third of 3 added minutes. Gorman sends the ball into the penalty area. It's over everybody, through the corridor of uncertainty, and away behind the goal to our left at the East Bank end. And by the time Marcus Dewhurst takes this goal kick, it'll be pretty much the end of added time. We've got 20 seconds of that left now as he sets the ball, runs back towards his goal, bangs his studs against the post, and settles, looks up. I think he might even be doing the referee a favour here if he waits 2 more seconds. Up forward it comes. The ref's going to let the challenge take place. Gorman's there battling away. Woking send it across. Referee Wayne Cartmel blows his whistle and brings the first half to a close. All right, we'll get the thoughts now of both John Moore and Steve Gibbs, and then we shall hand back, of course, to our studio for our radio listeners. John, Woking struck first. Let's come to you first. Your thoughts on that first half, 1-0.
Well, overall, it was a really good half of football, I thought. Both sides played pretty well. Woking obviously got their noses in front and then had a decent spell of possession. Aldershot got themselves back into the game with a fabulous strike, and thereafter the game's been more even Stevens. I think Neil Ardley, going in at half-time, will be overall very pleased with the way his Woking team have performed. You know, they've kept their discipline, they've looked dangerous at times. I think if there is a concern, it's that Aldershot can get at Woking down the flanks.
Thank you, John. And Steve Gibbs, your thoughts on that first half here at the EBB, 1-0.
To pick up on John's very last point there, I agree, there are opportunities down the flanks, but for me, Aldershot Town have not done it anywhere near enough. They've threatened, it looks like they know that there's opportunities there, but they haven't fashioned the play, created those opportunities. They haven't moved the ball that suggests that they can exploit those opportunities. Otherwise, a good first half, maybe one that's simmered rather than really truly boiled as you'd expect a local derby to. Woking, for me, the more consistent team, but Aldershot Town, if they can fashion those opportunities, I think are still more likely to go on to win this game. They have been drawn into too many fouls, the home team, definitely. They need to maintain that, and perhaps worryingly, crucially, Ini Effiong is winning that key battle against Christian Maghoma. I don't know whether he needs to be passed on to somebody else, maybe Dan Ellison, or Aldershot Town just need to let Effiong win the ball. Let Effiong win the ball. Magoma not get too close, but have somebody there backing him up. So if Magoma does get rolled, he passes him on, because at the moment Innie is too much of a handful for one defender.
There you go, beautifully summed up by John Moore and Steve Gibbs. I'm going to hand you back in the studio to Adrian Harms. 1-1 at half-time, Adrian.
Thanks very much indeed, Rob. That's Rob Worrell, Steve Gibbs and John Moore, your commentary team at the EBB Stadium this afternoon here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. A very good afternoon and a Merry Christmas on this Boxing Day. Elsewhere in the conference, just to run through the scores for you: Altrincham 0, Halifax 0, Barnet 2, Sutton 1, Boston 0, Solihull 1, Dagenham Redbridge 1, Braintree 2, Fylde 1, Rochdale 1, Gateshead 2, Hartlepool 1, Maidenhead United 1, Wealdstone 0, Southend 2, Ebbsfleet 0, Tamworth 0, Forest Green Rovers 1, and Yeovil 0, Eastleigh 0. Oldham against York is a 5:30 kickoff. In the Premier League, it finished Manchester City 1, Everton 1. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, it's goalless at Bournemouth. Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0. Chelsea leading Fulham by a brilliant Cole Palmer goal at half-time. Newcastle 1 up against Aston Villa. Anthony Gordon on target for Newcastle. Villa down to 10 men with John Duran sent off. Nottingham Forest through an Anthony Elanga goal are leading Tottenham by a 1-0, and it's goalless down on the south coast between Southampton and West Ham. Wolves Man United gets underway at 5:30 tonight, the late kickoff. Liverpool against Leicester at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow the Albion in action. We'll preview that game after 5 o'clock. The Albion playing Brentford. Our build-up to the game begins at 7 o'clock. Full live commentary from 7:30 with Johnny Cantor and Warren Aspinall. Crawley have lost in League One. Early kick-off at Brisbane Road. They've been beaten by 3-0 by Leyton Orient. Reaction to that game after 5 o'clock. Crawley remain in the relegation zone, and having made a good start, Rob Elliott, all of a sudden it's 3 defeats in a row. We'll get his reaction, as I say, after 5 o'clock here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. But let's remind ourselves of events, I should say, at the Ebb Stadium in that first 45 minutes.
Effiong, is that going to be a penalty? It is. Magoma dived in, he missed the ball, he caught Effiong, no complaints at all with that decision. Ref was well placed. It's a penalty to Woking early on, 12 and a half minutes gone. John Moore, clear?
Absolutely, yeah, a stonewall penalty.
Beautyman right-footed against Dewhurst, sends him the wrong way. Woking are ahead, 13 and a half minutes gone in the Boxing Day derby.
Yeah, Woking's first meaningful attack really brings them dividends. It was a clear penalty. I wondered whether Effiong was going to take it, but Beautyman, he picked up the ball and he dispatched it very, very calmly right down the middle. Never in doubt, and Woking 1-0 up.
So Woking 1 up. First blood for the Cards, but did it last?
Jones exchanges passes with Ollie Scott, and he's making ground down the left-hand side now. He's up to the edge of the area, tries to send it in. Frost! Goal for Tyler Frost! Simplicity personified, really. Ollie Scott to Ryan Jones. Jones squares it, and Tyler Frost pulls the trigger from just inside the penalty area. No chance for Jaskalainen, and it ripples the back of the net. 27 and a half minutes gone. It's a goal apiece. Shots 1, Woking 1.
And sounds like a good game at the Ebb Stadium. Full live commentary with Rob Worrell, Steve Gibbs and John Moore coming your way in about 10 minutes or so's time. Let's move into National League South. Eastbourne Borough in action at Priory Lane against Salisbury City. Let's get the half-time scoreline from Kevin Anderson.
Yeah, the scoreline is 0-0, unfortunately for the Borough. They've had 70-30 of the play, I would say, and Salisbury, it pretty clear what they've come for. They've, in fairness, and they've trekked across from Wiltshire on a chilly Boxing Day, and they've lined up with a back 5 and literally 3 defensive midfielders in front of that. And Eastbourne have pressed, but not so far had the openings. They've had a couple of chances. Ironically, the first chance, and only one for the visitors, came early on with a header put wide by Ronan Silva just past the back post. I mean, really, he honestly should have scored. But apart from that, Borough have had several useful chances. They've hit the keeper 2 or 3 times. That keeper's Dan Lincoln, who's been around the block a little bit and knows his stuff. He saved from Alfie Pavey at point blank range, and then another save from Borough's strike partner, Alfie Pavey's strike partner, George Alexander. Borough got round the back a few times, and that's probably their best route to just try and prise this Salisbury defence open. I have to say, and this is a bit unfair on Boxing Day, but Callum Watts for Salisbury, I hope his folks aren't listening, but he has looked and looked and looked for free kicks and for fouls to the extent where the home crowd are actually chuckling at him when he goes down, and the referee, who's had a very good half in fairness, isn't buying it. So it's Borough's task to break down this Salisbury side. They'll go back home with a 0-0 very happily, but it's Eastbourne who somehow have to prize the sardine can open. Just quickly, in our other matches, Dorking Wanderers are a goal down to Worthing at half-time. Worthing taking a very early lead. Dorking equalising, but Worthing just before half-time have picked up the lead again. And Farnborough are goalless at home to Hampton and Richmond. Adrian.
Kevin Anderson, thanks very much indeed, and we'll bring you the full-time result just after 4:45 here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Surrey. I'm Adrian Harms. It's a Boxing Day sports special. Jingle Bell Rock from Bobby Helms here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. A very good afternoon to you. A very Merry Christmas from us all here on the radio station. A few other notable scorelines in the Championship, and some of the leading sides having a difficult time. It's Blackburn 1, Sunderland 0 at Ewood Park. In the Lampard-Rooney game, I think we can call it that, Coventry City are hammering Plymouth Argyle by 4-0 at half-time. Burnley are beating Sheffield United in the top of the table clash by 1-0. Queen's Park Rangers having a miserable afternoon. They're 3-0 down at Swansea City. Let's hope they come back in the second half. And it's Watford 0, Portsmouth 1. Just some of the scores there in the Championship. And if you missed it in the Premier League, Manchester City 1, Everton 1, Chelsea leading Fulham by 1-0. Another goal there for Cole Palmer. Well, the other big event today in Surrey, apart from the football between Woking and Aldershot, has been the King George VI Chase, which has been run at Kempton today, but also other races as well. Constitution Hill made it a record-breaking 3rd straight win. That was in the Ladbrokes Christmas Hurdle, and this is how he did it.
Burdett Road kicks on off the straight with 2 flights to go as they come into the straight. Still Constitution Hill on the outside. Lossiemouth is also right in there. Coming to that Burdett Road, and Constitution Hill and Lossiemouth is labouring, but Constitution Hill has swept past Burdett Road. Coming to the final flight, this may be Constitution Hill back to his best. Lossiemouth and Burdett Road still just in with a squeak as they come to the final flight. Constitution Hill takes it well. Burdett Road makes a hash of it. Lossiemouth is labouring, but Constitutional Hill is back to his best. Lossiemouth firmly put in her shade, and the roars go up as Constitution Hill proves what a superstar he is.
Certainly is. Wonderful ride from Constitution Hill. In the big race, the King George VI was won by Banbridge, ridden by Paul Townsend. 7-1 winner there. The trainer Joseph O'Brien, Ile Francais, coming second at 9-2. I'm sure there was a big crowd at Kempton Park this afternoon. There's also been a big crowd at the Ebbs Stadium. Half-time between Aldershot and Woking. 1 apiece there, back for full live commentary of the whole of the second period. Just to bring you up to date with all the scores in the Premier League, just to keep everybody right up to date with what's going on. The Albion, of course, in action tomorrow night. They play Brentford at the Amex. It's a 7:30 kickoff. We'll look ahead to that game after 5 o'clock this evening. So elsewhere in the Premier League, AFC Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 1, Fulham 0, Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0, Villa down to 10 men after John Duran was sent off. An Ante Elanga goal means that Nottingham Forest, good run continues. They're still leading Tottenham by 1-0, and goalless down at St Mary's between Southampton and West Ham. The early kickoff, Manchester City 1, Everton 1. Manchester City missing a penalty. Jordan Pickford saving an Erling Haaland penalty. Elsewhere, 5:30 kickoff, Wolverhampton Wanderers against Manchester United, and then Liverpool play Leicester City. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff this evening. A bit of cricket going on around the world, a continuation of the Test match series. 87,000 people in Melbourne at the MCG for Australia against India, and a game which pretty much ended up all square on the first day. I'll give you the score in that one in a couple of moments' time. Here we are, Australia 311 for 6. Marnus Labuschagne making 72, Smith 68 not out. The young teenager Sam Constas making a pulsating 60 for Australia, so that game evenly poised. Let's return though to the Ebb Stadium. It's second half commentary coming up. One apiece at half-time. Your summarisers this afternoon are Steve Gibbs with an Aldershot perspective, John Moore with a Woking perspective, and the man who's stuck in the middle, our commentator, is Rob Worrell.
Yeah, they've gone for the pincer movement on me today, Adrian. Thank you. 4 minutes past 4, and you join us perfectly, really, because Aldershot Town come out for the second half, and they'll soon be followed by Woking. Mentioned for a couple of absentees from the pitch side anyway. One I can see out of the corner of my eye, Ollie Harfield, out we think for the season with a horrible injury sustained behind the goal away to our left very early on in the season. Great to see Ollie. I'll come to you on that one, Steve Gibbs. Great to see Ollie Harfield back here watching today. I know it's not the first time he's been back, but he tweeted earlier, don't you? See you in the East Bank today.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Regardless of his footballing career, you just wish Ollie that he's got his health over this festive period, but it would be something to see him back in the red and blue shirt at some point in the long-term future. We all know and accept it's not going to be anytime soon, but yeah, there's no doubt that the shots have missed him in that position that he's made his own completely unexpectedly, but wherever he plays, he's missed 8 out of 10 every week.
Okay, we also pass on, as we do every week at the moment, our very best wishes to Tommy Widrington. There was great to see the video on social media of him looking much better. Hopefully we'll see him back here at the EBB soon. There were 1 or 2 rumours he might be here today. We are about to get the second half underway. James Henry's going to take it for shots. I'll run through the teams in a second. And we'll also get the thoughts of John Moore, who I think just wanted to add something there. But let's get the second half underway. 6 minutes past 4, 1-1. Here we go then for the second half in North East Hampshire at the EBB Stadium. Shotts, who began the day 19th, Woking, who began the day 17th, and there's Hargreaves quickly winning a 50-50 and sending it into the path of Ollie Scott. Scott making his way through the middle. He tries to pass it in, but it's well read by Jermaine Anderson. He's carrying the ball up towards halfway, sends it out to the right side to Matt Ward, who's going to be working this right flank at times in front of us. And we enjoyed watching him in that first half. He was superb for Woking. Here's Aldershot. Henry onto Barham. Barham holds it up, goes back inside to Ryan Jones. Jones up against 3 Woking players. Jinks inside, squares it to Tetek. Tetek, ball into the feet of Frost inside the penalty area. Tries to turn it round the corner to Henry, and it's won by a Woking player. And now they go back to their goalkeeper Jaskalainen, and he sends it forward. 1 minute into the second half. Clear headed winner from Ellison up against Effiong on that occasion. It'll be interesting to see if it does stay like that, because Steve Gibbs mentioned at half time that he thought maybe Aldershot might want to try something different with maybe someone else against Effiong. But we will come to you, John, when we get a chance. Teams to follow very shortly. Ball over the top from Woking, headed down by Ellison. And Tetek can't get a clean touch. Anderson picks it up to the edge of the area, tries a ball into the area to Beautyman. He's up against Ellison, tries to make room for a shot. Can't quite do so cleanly. Here's a follow-up shot. That's blocked by Aldershot. A shot coming in from Frankie Vincent. Just his second game for Woking today. Now Matt Ward's got it on the right-hand side. Ollie Scott trying to get a little touch off him. And Scott puts his arms up. Ward goes down, wins the free kick. And let's get to those teams. A reminder, We haven't had any changes, have we, at half-time? So the shots line up in a 3-4-2-1. Dewhurst, Scott, Maghomer, Ellison, the back three. Jones, Hargreaves, Tetek, and the other Jones, Aaron, the skipper, across the middle. Frost and Henry supporting Barham. Frost, of course, scored the shots goal for Woking. Jaskalainen in goal. Chickson, Harry, Zakanola and Kelly Evans across the back four. Gorman, the captain, with Vincent and Anderson in midfield. Beautyman and Ward supporting Effiong. Free kick then to Woking. 2.5 minutes into the second half. It's 1-1. Gorman with the ball into the penalty area. Header is wide, and it's from Cian Harries, who popped up on the edge of the penalty area, heads it wide, and finally, joining us again in the commentary box, John Moore.
Thanks,
welcome
Rob.
back.
I thought you'd forgotten about me, mate. Yeah, I was just about to say a little bit about Ollie Hartfield. You know, what a huge blow it was, that injury, for both him and the club. And, you know, it is great to see him out there. He really is a quality player.
In the stand, John means. Don't get, if you've just joined us this afternoon, he's not back out there as such. Excuse me. Here's a free kick to Woking just inside their own half. Early goals in the National League. Yeovil have taken the lead against Eastleigh. Southend are now 3 up and almost home and dry against Ebbsfleet. And Wealdstone significantly have equalised against Maidenhead. And I don't suppose at all that supporters of Woking or Aldershot would mind that one today, finishing as a draw and a point apiece. But at the moment, they've got their opportunity to try and wrestle all three here at the EBB. Scott dives in, can't win it cleanly, and Ward will continue his run that was in possession of the ball. He'll regain possession of the ball, and now he finds Beautyman. Beautyman slips it to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans out to the right side, where the ball is picked up by Vincent. Vincent into Effiong. Effiong's giving it away. Oh, back inside the area, shot. It's in. Frank Vincent scores the goal. I think Dewhurst didn't get a clean sight of it, and he was beaten at his near post. And here we are, just 4 minutes into the second half, and Woking regain the lead through Frank Vincent against the red and blue of Aldershot Town he used to wear. Shots 1, Woking 2. John Moore.
Well, I don't think Vincent could believe his luck. First of all, that the ball came to him, and secondly, that it ended up in the net, really. I don't know what the Aldershot keeper was doing. It wasn't particularly well struck. It was straight at him, and yet he seemed to lose it and missed it. Unbelievable, really. And, you know, Woking find themselves in front again.
Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fortunate ricochet. Vincent was already looking out of the penalty area. Suddenly he had the ball at his feet, had to spin, and the ball, it was rising. It was probably grazing the top of Dewhurst's hair, but he just flung his hands up either side of the ball, couldn't get anything on it. I think maybe he was taken by surprise, maybe a little bit off balance, wrong-footed, but from that position you don't think there's any way the ball can end up in the net.
No, I mean, it wasn't even a particularly well-struck shot, really. I mean, to be honest, I was cursing Vincent, thinking, well, why have you stuck it straight at the keeper, put it either side? I just couldn't believe it when it was nestling in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's virtually gone. A good advantage played by the referee, and then he brings it back, gives the free kick to Aldershot Town. It has to be said that Marcus Dewhurst has been pretty exemplary in the Aldershot goal this season. He's been a busy boy. He was rested recently after back-to-back Player of the Months, but back in for the last couple of games. Here's Jones getting to the byline, sends a cross in. It's spilt initially by Jaskalainen, but he gets it at the second attempt. Good bit of skill from Jones, put the ball in where he needed to, but well positioned from Jaskalainen, who didn't have a horrible moment just a minute or two after Marcus Dewhurst did at the other end. And it's the Cards who lead again for the second time today. And Aldershot Town, Steve, have now twice given themselves a mountain to climb.
They have.
It has to be said that the ball that Effiong got onto inside the penalty area before he won the penalty came off a shots player, and the ball that Vincent got onto for the Woking goal came from a shots player.
Yeah,
Aldershot have assisted both goals.
They have inadvertent deflections for this second one particularly, but yeah, a bit of a defensive howler from the shots. And I'm sure you're about to bring this up, another goal conceded just after half-time by the shots.
Yeah, I think it's 12 or 13
it's
now.
It's now 13. It was 12 before today.
Yeah, it's one of those stats that annoy some, but it's a 15-minute period of the game, and Aldershot have conceded way more goals in that period than at any other time. they will argue that both goals conceded today have been as the results of individual errors, something that hasn't particularly been a significant issue for them this season, Steve, has it? Compared to previous seasons, they've largely been a lot more robust, really.
They have, yeah, but they've now conceded 13 goals in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Throughout the remaining 30 and then stoppage time as well, they've only conceded 12.
Well, here's Tetek spraying the ball out to the left-hand side. Good ball, taken down nicely by Ryan Jones. He's to the edge of the penalty area. Can he get it in? He does get it in. This time it's cleared away by Woking. Jones is almost onto it, but Gorman takes up possession just inside his penalty area and plays the ball out to Ward. It's played forward down the middle. Effiong was drawn out wide with Maghoma, and Aldershot get possession back. 53 minutes very nearly gone. Rochdale have taken the lead at Fylde. Southend are now 4-0 up against Ebbsfleet, and Maidenhead are 2-1 up against Wealdstone. Here at the EBB, the Cards are 2-1 up, taking an early lead in that period where Aldershot just can't help conceding goals soon after the break. And they've got the ball here, and that's a good block from Ollie Scott as Woking had two players. A ball through the middle. Oh, Henry almost drifted onto it. Akinola was well placed, and it just wouldn't carry another bounce for him. It's in touch though on the far side, and the Shots have got to do it the hard way here this afternoon. We are 8.5 minutes into the second half, and they trail again today for the second time. Frank Vincent scoring against the Shots. Recently joined from Dagenham. Effiong's recently joined from Braintree. They're both ex-Shots performers, and they've played big part in the scoreline at the moment. Here's Ollie Scott down the left-hand side up against Ward. Ward pokes that into touch. Attacking throw into the Shots. But what Woking have done, apart from getting 2-1 up, they've sucked the life out of this stadium and the atmosphere at the moment, which is now tense as the Aldershot Town supporters are forced to consider the unthinkable, John, losing at home to Woking in the Boxing Day derby.
Long way to go, Rob. Long way to go, mate.
I knew I could get that out of you. But there you go. We'll have a bit of fun. We'll enjoy it. We'll call it as it is. We've got representation from both clubs here in the commentary box. And there's Tetek looking to find Henry. Can't get on it, but it comes back to Tetek. Tetek will give the ball to Hargreaves. Out to the left side to Jones. He's jinking inside. There's a ball to Frost. Frost tries a shot. It's a good effort. Parried away and behind by Jaskalainen. And Tyler Frost, who's already put the shots level today with a terrific first time effort. Parried behind, away by the Woking keeper. Aldershot have taken the corner quickly already. Tetek's on the ball. Now he feeds Ryan Jones. Jones with a shot. Oh, it's parried away. And just before he can follow up and tap it in, Maghoma, Jaskalainen responds. Two big moments for the Woking number 22, John.
Yeah, it was an excellent save down to his left. Really, really was. Decent shot as well coming in. It was bending. It looked like it might creep into the far corner, but Jaskalainen saved superbly, and he has been brilliant for Woking this season. He really has.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Tyler Frost's shot was curling and dipping towards that bottom corner, but yeah, Jaskalainen has been one of the outstanding performers for the Cards this season.
Wholly concur with that. Here's the Shots. The initiative now with them. It needs to be two because they are behind for the second time today. Here's Scott and Jones working their way down the left. Again, Jones jinks inside. He's done it a lot. This time he squares it over to Ellison, who brilliantly diverts it into the path of Aaron Jones. He sends it down the right to James Henry. Henry clips a ball in. It's taken down by the chest of Anderson and cleared away by Gorman. Might not be Gorman. Yeah, it is Gorman. It's into touch. Throw in to the Shots. Welcome back to our BBC Radio Surrey listeners, our online listeners, our NLTV viewers. Predictions in this commentary box before the game. John Moore 2-2, Steve Gibbs and Rob Worrell 3-2 Aldershot. It's 1-2 right now. All three predictions still possible. Shots losing possession on halfway, but Hargreaves is onto a loose ball. He's going down the right hand side. He can't see the way forward. A Woking player's still down. They send it out to the left. Tetek to Ryan Jones. Frost shows for the ball. He gets it just outside the penalty area, squares it across to Tetek. Tetek with the ball into the area, looking for Henry. Well positioned again. but Jones is onto it. It wriggles free. Henry's got it, sends it out to the left. Frost sends it in from the left-hand side to the right, and he massively overhits it. It will go out for a throw-in down by the corner flag, and it remains shots 1, Woking 2, as Jack Barham tries to kind of lift all the players around him and get the supporters going. John Moore, over to you. You have a comment, and you looked at me like you had a comment ready there. So. No,
I was looking at you thinking, are you speaking to me?
Oh yeah, I am indeed. Steve, you'll be itching to get in as well.
There was slightly excitable appeals from one section of the East Bank that there was just an Aldershot Town player went down in the penalty area, so thus that elicited some rather optimistic penalty appeals, but nothing doing, and again the Woking defence standing strong.
That's Steve Gibbs alongside John Moore, who's alongside me here in the media box at the EBB Stadium, where we've seen 3 goals already. 3 goals already before the hour mark, 58 minutes gone, 32 left plus whatever's added. And Woking have the points clutched in their hands at the moment. But here's Maghoma send the ball out to the right. I think that's got too much on it. Surely Aaron Jones won't get there. He tries hard to, just runs out of pitch. Maghoma holds his hand up. We're going to see a substitution for shots. It's going to be Josh Barrett coming on, and he'll get the opportunity today to come back into the side. Probably recovered from his illness, but perhaps the Shots management team didn't want to change things too much after that excellent start to finish performance at Forest Green. Here's Ryan Jones running to the edge of the penalty area, and he's dispossessed by Ward. Ward sends it forward. Ellison's well positioned. He heads it into touch. Caught a little bit late by Effiong, but I don't think it affected what he was trying to do. And, fair to say, an obvious statement this, but the next goal in this game is going to be massive. If the Shots get it, it's 2-2 with half an hour or so, or whatever's left to go. If Woking get it, it's going to be a long way back for the Shots, who've generally had their own way in this derby here on Boxing Day. A couple of draws in recent seasons, a 0-0 and a 1-1, but other than that, the Shots generally winning it. The Cards lead 2-1. Here's a good exchange. Vincent, the goal scorer, tries the ball forward. It's cut out by Maghoma, but he slices it into the crowd. Fair to say Steve, John and myself all just leapt back in our seats until we saw the flight of that one. It wasn't too far away from us. Here's Ward skipping inside. He's so quick-footed. Up to Effiong. Effiong touches it to Vincent. Is it the likes of Vincent and Effiong and Anderson and Harries that are going to have the last laugh? Woken into the penalty area. Dion Kelly-Evans, ironically, his shot to the near post is saved by Dewhurst, but the flag is up anyway for offside. And we're going to see Josh Barrett come on. He's going to replace James Henry, and on the hour mark Henry's game is over. The Shots top scorer is off, and Josh Barrett comes on with his thoughts on that substitution. Is Steve Gibbs initially?
Yeah, I think James has had a good game. Maybe he can't play 90 minutes, and Josh brings on that little bit of X factor that maybe no other Aldershot Town player has, and positive to see an attacking move from the Shots bench. They're trying to win this game, and if there is someone that can win this game from nothing, then it is Josh Barrett.
There's a ball clipped forward by Jermaine Anderson into the path of Dewhurst, who's outside his area at the moment. Yeah, so Barrett on, so 11 goals off in James Henry and 7 on for Josh Barrett. He's also got a catalogue of near misses this season as well. Can he make it count on a day that it matters? His shot's coming over halfway with Maghoma. Good ball out to the right hand side to Aaron Jones. He tries the early cross. That's massively overhit. So far overhit that Ryan Jones should get onto it, and he does, and he's up against his man now. Goes back to Josh Barrett. Barrett gives the ball to Tetek, clips it back into him. Barrett gets it under, controls it, sends it in. It's cut out behind, and Barrett stirs the Shots fans. Come on, we're going to need you, he says, in this final 28 and a half minutes. Corner to the Shots. Down at the East Bank end. Come on, you Reds, is the Shots faithful's cry. Nervy moments for the Cards. We've had precious few wins in this fixture, but they lead. In comes the corner to the far post, headed away by Woking, only back to Barrett, fizzes it across. Ellison gets it. Whoa! Volley just wide from Tyler Frost. My word, he struck it well from the edge of the area, and it wasn't far wide. Steve Gibbs. Frost is really up for this one today.
He is, yeah. There was a couple of moments of pinball, uncontrolled, helter-skelter football, and then Tyler Frost so very nearly, as with his equaliser, perfect control, great technique, kept it down a matter of inches wide, and you could see how frustrated he was to not hit the target.
Here's Jones down the left-hand side, but he's been dispossessed. Matt Ward's picked it up. Tetek quickly run. Well, Tetek ran onto it, but referee Wayne Cartmel decided it was a foul. It's broken up the Woking attack. Ward goes down, and Aldershot have recognised that when he gets it, you've got to try and get the ball off him quickly, because if you don't, he's gone.
Yeah, to me it looked a soft one, I have to say, but there we go.
I agree. Gateshead 3, Hartlepool 1, Dagenham Redbridge 1, Braintree 4. Don't think too many people saw that scoreline coming. Braintree going inny-hoo. AFC Fylde 1, Rochdale 3. Rochdale take the free kick Woking take it eventually with Gorman. Effiong touches it down into the path of Beautyman, but shots of wrestle back possession through Tetek. Out to the right hand side to Aaron Jones, feeds Cameron Hargreaves. Hargreaves gets it, turns, assesses where the red shirts are available to him. They are in Tetek and in Barrett. Barrett sends it out to the right hand side. Surely Aaron Jones won't get that one either. He won't, it's too strong, and he's quick, but he's not that quick, and it will be a goal kick to Woking. And Steve Gibbs, Aldershot Town, have got 26 minutes to first of all make sure that if they can't win, they do not lose today.
Absolutely, and that's what Tommy Widrington, wherever he's connected to this game, however he's connected to this game, that that's what he will want. I think Josh Barrett, it was the right pass. I think Aaron Jones waited for the pass to be hit before he set off down the wing. When you've got Josh Barrett on the ball, you make the run first, knowing that he's going to get the ball to you. But certainly Aldershot Town have a couple of options on the bench. Barrett's already on. They've got Johnny Stuttle.
In comes across from the right. Barrett's onto it at the edge of the area, tries to pass back into the path of Hargreaves. He can't get his effort away. There's a ricochet. The ball's cleared away by Woking. Effiong completely takes out Ellison. He's going to get a yellow card. It had to be at least yellow, surely, John.
Yeah, although I've got slight sympathy with him, really. It was kind of a coming together. But anyway, it's the first yellow card of the game.
It is, indeed.
And who am I to criticise the referee? I think he's been excellent.
Yeah, he's
so
had
far.
a good game. To be fair, no major complaints of the referee. Steve, concur?
I think he's got a couple wrong. But yeah, I think that one was a yellow card.
Okay, we're all agreed again. We don't deliberately mean to be, listeners and viewers. Here's Ollie Scott clipping the ball in, flicked on by Frost. Aaron Jones puts a foot up, gets a touch on it, plays it off a Woking player. It's cleared up and away, taken under control by Ollie Scott, who's fouled on the edge of the penalty area. Showed great athleticism, Ollie Scott, to get onto it, and he was just clipped. I don't think he was going to do anything with it, John, was he? But he was quick-footed to get there and get another touch and draw the foul.
Yeah, and Aldershot just think of a little spell here at the moment. Woking not really keeping the ball as well as they have done and giving away some needless free kicks.
Josh Barrett will be favourite to take this for Aldershot Town. It's just outside the D, slightly left of centre as we click into the 66th minute. Keep an eye on Steve's stopwatch as well, because I think the scoreboard away to our right has stopped, but it is, we're in the 67th minute now. Shots 1, Woking 2. Ryan Jones is positioned there to perhaps take it with his left foot. Josh Barrett back off the bench and into the lineup will probably have the bragging rights, I beg your pardon, the rights to take this. Hush around the stadium. Can Barrett or Jones respond here from the shot for the Shots, who trail by 2-1? Up steps Barrett. Goal! An absolute beauty from Josh Barrett, lifted it up and round the wall, nestled in what is affectionately known in football terms as the top bins, and the shots are level again for the second time today. Aldershot Town 2, Woking 2. Steve Gibbs.
Wow. Josh Barrett was first, second and third favourite to take that. He was not going to allow anyone else to get even a sniff. And when you can do that, who can blame him? In that situation where you can literally hear the quiet, the pressure on Josh Barrett was immense. In a game like this, in a position like this, where your team are losing to your nearest, fiercest rivals, to be able to do that, I don't know how he does, because I couldn't even do that in my back garden. But in this situation, to have the skill and the guts and the composure to do that, hats off to you, Josh Barrett. That was something else.
Yeah, wonderful free kick. 68 minutes gone now then, and it is, John, as you predicted, 2-2, but your fellow commentators have gone 3-2 shots. What lies ahead, and what do you think of that free kick?
An absolute worldie. You don't save those. It was a magnificent strike. You can use every cliche in the book, but to do it at that moment in the game, quite magnificent.
Here they come again down the left side with Jones, Ryan and Josh Barrett. The shots have got themselves level for the second time today. Can Jones get this ball in? He can. Oh, Aaron Jones parried, cleared, bobbling around inside the penalty area, comes back to Hargreaves. Clear strike at goal from Aaron Jones, blocked. He had 3 half chances at Forest Green on Saturday, and he struck that one better than any of the others, but it was blocked. Tetek feeds Hargreaves. Shots never do anything the easy way. They've twice come from behind today to make it 2-2. Will we get another goal or more in this game? Is Ollie Scott going down the left-hand side? He's up against Matt Ward now. Plays it into Ryan Jones. Ryan Jones fouls Matt Ward, and it'll be a free kick to Woking. An important period this, John, for Woking, because obviously the crowd are on the up now and the shots are on the up, and they've got to take care of business themselves now to make sure that if they can't win, they don't lose the game.
Yeah, I was just saying prior to the goal going in that they lost that little bit of control that they'd had in the game, and to me it's time to start making some substitutions. I think Harry Buterman has been pretty invisible this half, and I would really look at trying to get another midfield player on like Jamie Andrews. And as I say, Woking have lost that midfield control. And
Matt Ward's limping a little bit, but he looks like he might be able to run it off. While John was speaking, the attendance was announced, listeners. 5,412 with a superb 1,018 Cards fans, John.
Yeah, magnificent turnout. It really, really is, and it's great to see, that games like this between the two clubs can still attract big numbers.
Some people will try and say that it isn't a rivalry, it isn't a derby, it's Surrey against Hampshire. Come on, what are we talking, 15, 18 miles? I mean, Steve, what would you say?
If that, it's, I think, about 12 miles, but there's no question that this is a rivalry. Yes, the supporters of maybe a longer stint at the Ebb Stadium. It was Reading, it was Farnborough, but these days it's very much Woking.
Here's Ryan Jones on the edge of the final third for Aldershot, squares it looking for Hargreaves. That's not a great pass, but Maghoma to the rescue, out to the right hand side to Aaron Jones. Cross comes in, that's a good looking one, but it's headed away by 3 Woking defenders. Then Hargreaves tries to punch a header back across goal, looking for Barrett on the far side. Woking clear. Effiong will battle with Maghoma. Ollie Scott's there for support. He's been superb for the shots again today, as has Tetek, who sweeps the ball forward to Ryan Jones now. Jones gives the ball to Barrett, just inside the Woking half. Barrett inside to Tetek. What a technically gifted player he is. Always seems to make the right decision. Ball down the left for Frost to chase. He won't get there. It'll run out of pitch. Interesting thing, Steve, question for you. Tyler Frost is in delicious form today. He's really taken his opportunity with a great goal, a couple of near efforts. You do wonder if Johnny Stuttle's going to get on at some point in these final 18 minutes. He'd probably be the likely one to come off.
He would,
unless they take Jack off.
Yeah, maybe a straight swap up top with Josh Barrett seemingly very much on the money this afternoon. It would be harsh on Tyler, but maybe if Aldershot Town, they clearly want to go for the winner. Maybe you think a straight swap up top, fresh legs, maybe slightly more physicality.
Barham's chasing this one down by the byline, looks to send it back. It's not the best of balls, but it will find Ryan Jones. Excellent touch inside the penalty area. He's on his left foot, comes on his right, shoots wide, high and wide. And Woking are going to respond with their own substitution. John Moore.
Yeah, it looks like Woking are going to make a change and bring on Stratton, who's on loan from Stockport. You know, Effiong increasingly, as the half has gone on, has cut an isolated figure because Woking have been driven back. So I think the view is that really he needs more support. So,
Frank,
you know, I'm not surprised that a change is being made. Certainly Woking need to freshen it up a little bit out there.
Yeah, Frank Vincent, the scorer of Woking's second goal, is going to come off. And Jack Stretton, who's by no means in his first loan spell in the National League, is he? He's a player we are familiar with at this level. So Woking make their move, 73.5 minutes gone. Shots to Woking 2. Referee Wayne Cartmel signals that Jaskalainen can... is it Jask or Jask?
No, you have to say it's a brave move, I think, from the manager, because, you know, he's taken off a midfield player and put on another striker. So, from a Woking perspective, I hope it doesn't backfire.
Maghoma beats Effiong in the air again. Frost coming down the left-hand side, checks back, touches the ball into the path of Ryan Jones. He's to the edge of the penalty area now. He looks for Josh Barrett. Josh Barrett sends it in, and it's a foul as Jaskalainen gathers it. He just comes into contact with... it might have been a shots player, it might even have been Kean Harries, but the referee anyway has given a free kick, and hopefully Will is okay. And I was just asking you, sorry, with the Aldershot substitute keeper, it's Jordi van Stapashov. What about, is it Jaskalainen or Jaskalainen?
Jaskalainen in my best finish.
Okay, excellent, very good. I thought it might be, that's what I've been saying. Right, he's going to need some treatment. Players from both sides come over to the benches. The Shots players get a bit of encouragement from their fans. And let me come to you, Steve, while we got a stoppage in play for a bit of thought and reflection. There's 15 minutes to go. There are a few clues out there with the changes that have already made and the ones that are still possible. Who potentially can finish this game the stronger?
Yeah, I think Aldershot Town, having got back into it, will definitely want to go on and claim the 3 points. But you would expect so would Neil Ardley. There is a lot to be said for discretion being the better part of valour. Even though they've twice been ahead, that you think, just my second game in charge, I don't want to do anything rash that loses the derby. But it depends how much he wants to stick or twist and go for the winner. You'd say Denon Lewis could be a good introduction. Lewis Walker, Jack Stretton he's already brought on, and Stretton has already shown at the Ebb Stadium in a previous loan spell that his pace, his work rate, his finishing ability can all punish Aldershot Town. There is another Aldershot Town substitute being prepared,
and it's Theo Widrington. So you've got Kai Corbett, Johnny Stuttle and Max Mullins, all that could come on up front for the Shots, but it's Theo Widrington, so it might just be an indication that Tetek's not going to go the distance unless Aldershot have got another idea up their sleeve. Here's Ryan Jones getting onto the goal kick, and it comes off the back of his head and into touch. Throw into Woking. 13.5 minutes left. Dion Kelly Evans comes forward to take it, and he grabs a ball, and the referee's going to allow this substitution to take place. As it stands, Dion Kelly Evans has got an extra 5 yards on that throw and gotten away with it. Throws it down the left, and it's fizzed across, headed away by Maghoma. I want to get Steve's thoughts, because he was concerned about the matchup between Maghoma and Effiong in the first half, which obviously Effiong shaded because of the penalty and the free kick he won just before half-time. I think Maghoma's won that battle in the second half so far, but there is 13 minutes left. A nod from Steve, so no need for a discussion. Yet again, we concur. We've disagreed at least once today, but there could
Peace
be
and
more.
goodwill to all men on this festive occasion.
Good header again from Ellison. It's matched by a good header from Gorman, who cushions his into the path of Beautyman, who John thought was limping a short while ago. He goes in late there, Beautyman. But no, referee says just a straightforward throw in to Woking. And Theo Widdrington's going to come on. It's Hargreaves who's going off for the shots. So it might be to do with loading. It might just be to do with Theo Widdrington perhaps having the eye for a key pass. Steve Gibbs in these final minutes. It's quite rare for Cameron to go off, isn't it? But maybe the shots management team feel that this might be the moment for Theo Widdrington to pick a key pass.
Yeah, I think so. And his passing ability, I think, maybe gets a little bit lost in amongst the hullabaloo about his disciplinary record and his combative nature, but certainly he is one of the best, certainly for Aldershot Town, and I think in the upper echelons of the entire National League, one of the best creative passers on his day.
Frost wins a header. Next header's won by Akinola. Woking turn it around the corner, and now Ryan Jones will pick it up just inside his own half. Goals flying in elsewhere in the National League as Aldershot continue to pass the ball around their back three. Craig Eastman, former Sutton player, sent off for Wealdstone at Maidenhead, where that one's 1-1. Aldershot have lost possession in the Woking half. Harries plays it forward, but that's cut out by Ollie Scott. Gets the ball under control and feeds it out to the left to Jones, but Jones is just on his heels slightly. What a game at the Hive, where Barnet came from behind to lead 2-1, and they're now 3-2 down to Sutton, where Aldershot go, of course, on New Year's Day. Oldham against York, a later kickoff has been postponed. Altrincham 0, Halifax 0, but Alty a man down. Eastleigh have equalised at Yeovil. And Keith Deere says one word to describe Josh Barrett's free kick equaliser: wow. Here's Barham holding the ball up. We've got just over 10 minutes left plus added time here at the EBB. And on NLTV and BBC Radio Surrey and online, you are watching or listening to Shots to Woking 2 in the Boxing Day clash here at the EBB, where we've had a 0-0 recently, we've had a 1-1, and now we're currently 2-2. Jones giving the ball back to Frost, skipping down the left, looks to square it across. It's cleared away by Woking, and it's in to touch for a throw, not a corner. Taken quickly by Ryan Jones to Theo Widdrington. Gives it back to Jones. Widdrington carries on his forward run. Jones squares it to Tetek. And Tetek eventually finds Ollie Scott. He's going to take on Matt Ward down this left side. I think he'll win the corner for the shots. He does indeed. 9.5 minutes left of this one. And it's delicately balanced here. It's perfectly poised for these final few minutes. Shots to Woking 2. Is John Moore going to get his match prediction right?
Looking good at the moment.
Looking good at the moment, but in his own catchphrase, it's not over yet. Thank you, John. I'll say the words for you this occasion. Corner kick to the Shots. Josh Barrett to take. In it comes, headed away off the goal line, only as far as Tetek, who heads back out to the right to Josh Barrett. He's got it under control now. He sends it in again. Little flick up in the air and then cleared away a little bit desperately by Woking. Back in from Ryan Jones. And another touch off the Woking player. Another call. No! The referee's given a goal kick. Lovely, calm bit of signalling from the Woking player to suggest an appeal for the goal kick. And whether he was right or not, his body language is brilliant. He pulled it off a treat, John. What did you think? You couldn't tell really from here, could you?
No, we can't see from here. But I'll be biased and say no, it was clearly cracking
game up at Gateshead against Hartlepool. That's Gateshead 3, Hartlepool 2. And Maidenhead against the Aldershot have won the ball in the Woking penalty area. Tetek's onto it, squares it across. It's half cleared away and then put behind. Corner to the shots. Completely missed what happened there, but the shots turned over possession. Maidenhead are 3-1 up against 10-man Wealdstone. Corner taken quickly and short to Barrett. Here's Tetek. Tetek with a shot from distance, blocked and into the path of a Woking player. It'll be cleared forward now. It's all hands on deck for Woking. Anderson looks to shut down Ollie Scott, does well. Scott comes away with the ball down the left-hand side, plays it forward, it's cut out, but into the path of Josh Barrett. Barrett turns it inside to Theo Widrington. Widrington arrows it low out to Aaron Jones. In it comes. Loose. Ryan Jones pulls it back, headed away again. Shots looking the more likely team to win this late on. We've got 7 minutes and 10 seconds left. Throw in taken quickly to Ollie Scott. Gives it to Tetek. Tetek dances inside. He's found Barrett. Barrett's got it out of his feet. Twist, turns onto his left foot, clips the ball in. That'll be parried over the bar. He got a lovely little bit of floated lift on it, and Jääskeläinen took no chances. Lifted it over the bar. Another corner to the shots. Woo, I'd like to go to Steve Gibbs and John Moore, but we just can't. We've got to keep the continuity. Lewis Walker is waiting to come on, another player that's worn the red and blue of Aldershot Town. Can he be the key difference at the moment, though? Woking have got defending to do. 2-all, 6.5 minutes. Corner into the far post, punched away, headed on. Frost has got it, the edge of the area. Volley, parried away again, followed up, parried away again. And Aldershot Town just can't get the ball in the net. Frost and Barrett denied on this occasion by the Woking keeper, who's fast becoming the player of the game. Another ball forward, cleared away. This time Woking might get onto it. The referees stop the play. Barham's reacting whilst on the floor with Gorman. They're having a word with each other. The ref is there. It's going to be a double substitution for Woking. Denon Lewis and Lewis Walker. John Moore.
Well, let's rewind a moment or so. Two quite magnificent saves from Jääskeläinen. They really were. The first one was pouring it away from the top corner, and the second one was a magnificent sprawling save. That has kept Woking in the game. No two ways about it. You know, Aldershot can smell blood at the moment. They are very much on top, so I'm not surprised that Niadlalis decided to change it. He's bringing on Walker, who's going to play up top, taking off Effiong, who's run his heart out, but has become more and more of an isolated figure. And he's bringing on Denon Lewis, who we all know has got some pace, and that's what needs to happen, really. The Aldershot wide players, the wing-back, need pushing back, and I imagine that's what Denon Lewis will do, give them something to occupy themselves. So he's coming on as well, and he's taken off Matt Ward, who had a magnificent first half, but second half, as Woking had less and less possession, he became less and less effective.
Okay, the referee's going to start, I think, with the ball and maybe just give it to Cian Harris to pick it up. 4.5 minutes left here. Woking, who've barely had an attack in the last 20 minutes. They've been under the cosh. Shots have got level again. Frost and Barrett, the latest to be denied by Jääskeläinen. But if they can work an opening or two in these final minutes, they've got some pace on the counter-attack. So still this is delicately poised. Harries clears it forward up to Beautyman. Beautyman out to the right-hand side. Poorly placed pass. Ryan Jones will get onto it. It's the shots in the ascendancy, but can they find a vital winner late on? 4 minutes left. 2-2. Smart turn inside from Tetek. Can he now find a key pass? So he keeps possession, goes to Ellison. Ellison out to the right-hand side where Woking are almost onto it. But Tetek and Ellison combine. Tetek coming over halfway now. He needs a run from someone. Gives it to Ollie Scott. Scott to Ryan Jones. Barrett's moved forward into a position on the edge of the penalty area. He's onside as well. He skips back on his right foot. Looks to find Tetek, but it's cut out by Walker. Ryan Jones wins it back. Gets a 1-2 from Theo Widrington. Starts a run forward. and then tries to look for Barrett in the box, but it's too straight, goes through to Jääskeläinen. Barrett can't get there, and it remains 2-2 with just over 3 minutes left. Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, Shot's doing everything but taking the lead again, as John said. 2 excellent saves, 3 excellent saves really from Will Jääskeläinen. Aldershot Town peppering the Woking goal. Will they run out of time before they can find a third goal, or will there be a sucker punch again, as we saw in the previous home game against FC Halifax, where everyone thought Aldershot Town were going to come back and win the game from adversity? Can Woking bring the sucker punch?
Scott's carried the ball forward, found Barrett out to the left to Ryan Jones, smart touch to come inside. Now back on his left foot, finds Barrett trying to make opening for an effort on goal. Twists one way, then the other way, and then back, and then goes out to Tetek on the right side, skips it onto his right foot, shot. Oh, it's unbelievable! Back off the corner of post and bar. Wonderful effort. Tetek's onto the ball again. He's onto it again out on the right hand side, sends the ball in, and it will be caught underneath his bar by Jääskeläinen, and John Moore, Woking, are leading a precarious life at the East Bank end at the moment.
A charmed life, I think it's called. I thought that was in all the way. I really did. Again, it was a magnificent effort.
We've seen some absolutely brilliant shooting from Aldershot Town this afternoon. How they haven't got more goals, I'm not quite sure. They should realistically be ahead now from just in the last 5-10 minutes, the chances they've had. But the technicality of some of this shooting has been absolutely first class.
Frost thought he'd kept the ball in on the far side. It's just deemed to have gone out for a throw. It's given his absolute all. Kai Corbett may come on very late here. He's come on incredibly late in a few games, hasn't he? Just maybe into added time. Could it be his day? The script written for some of these players coming off the bench, and the modern title, of course, finishers. One that Tommy Widrington said he'd been using for years before it came trendy. But my goodness me, we've been treated to an excellent game this afternoon. We're going into the 90th minute with everything lock level at 2-2. Flicked on by Woking, headed half clear. Buteman trying to shot from distance, brushes off the Aldershot Town player and goes wide. It's a corner to Woking out of nowhere with 35 seconds to go, John Moore. They couldn't, could they?
Who knows? It's been that sort of game, but you know, Woking will be relieved, I think, to be up the Aldershot end, because they've been pegged back. Make no two ways about it. They really have. It's been a storm the last 25 minutes.
It's a great game here. There's even better one up at Gateshead, where it's Gateshead 4, Hartlepool 3. Tamworth have equalised against Forest Green, and Eastleigh have equalised at Yeovil. That one's 2-2. Here, Dale Gorman, the card skipper, is going to take a right-footed out-swinging corner. 5 added minutes to go then. 2-2 as Gorman steps up to take this corner. In it comes, right underneath the bar, half cleared to the edge of the area. Harries is onto it. He pings it out to the right side. Gorman just keeps it under control. He looks to send it back in. Header is down and cleared away by Ryan Jones. Huge ball forward. Barham's competing for it, but he might be onto it now. He tackles, he wins it. Can he get there? No. He did so well, Jack Barham, but Jääskeläinen did better. And Tyler Frost's been given the official Aldershot Town man of the match. And there's been so many good performances from players of both sides, but I doubt myself anything better than we've seen from Will Jääskeläinen. Here's a ball forward from him, cut out and sent forward by Ollie Scott. And Barham competes on a 50-50. It's cleared forward. Ellison's there. He just sends it up and under and says, there you go, Josh Barrett, chase that. He looks to get there, but Kelly Evans sends it up in the air. Ryan Jones gets the header, sends it inside. Handball by Cian Harries on the edge of the penalty area. It's a free kick. Probably on the edge of the D more than the edge of the penalty area. And Cards fans, John Moore has put his hand to his mouth. He's thinking, oh no, not another Josh Barrett free kick. It's not far away from the other one which he scored. Surely he couldn't do it again. It's a bit further out, just a tad further out, would you say, Steve Gibbs?
I think perhaps a little bit further out, but yeah, a little bit of an uneven bounce, a bit of devilish spin, undid Kean there, tried to take it on his midriff, hit his hand. But yeah, some absolutely superb performances this evening. But yeah, Tyler Frost for me in a red shirt. Tyler Frost,
the man of the match. John can give his Woking man of the match in due course. Something to think about, John. Shots are waiting to bring on Kai Corbett, but before that, they've got this free kick. Halfway through the 5 added minutes, it's 2-2. He can't do it again, can he? No, he can't. It's just high and just wide. And, well, the producer of that miracle equaliser for Aldershot can't quite do it again. Tetek's coming off. Kai Corbett coming on. The last throw of the dice for the shots. And here, with his thoughts, with just over 2 minutes of added time to go at 2-2, John Moore.
If you'd asked me at half-time, I'd have said Matt Ward, but now, given Jääskeläinen's performance in the second half, he, for me, is Woking's man of the match.
And that is the correct answer.
And there we go, ball forward. One in the air by Ellison, but he can only help it on. Helped on again by Walker, and then volleyed clear forward by Mag Homer, who's recovered well in this second half. Here's Ollie Scott onto the latest Woking ball forward. That's bouncing around, and they're both competing for it. It'll end up in touch, a throw in to the shots. We've got 90 seconds of added time left, listeners and viewers. A pulsating game here at the EBB. Can one of these sides find a late winner? As it stands, the points are going to be shared. Ryan Jones with a throw down the line, headed up in the air by Kelly Evans. Then Barham helps it on. Corbett gets a foot on it, headed inside by Denon Lewis, only as far as Ellison, who slices it forward with his right foot. Chickson does well, gets there first, clears it forward to Denon Lewis, but Aldershot have won it back with Ellison. Finds Mag Homer, clips the ball over the top, looking for Aaron Jones. He wins the header, but then Kean Harries volleys it into touch, and it bounces down off the sloped bit of the roof of the south stand, where the washing machine used to be years ago. Throw in to the shots. A pause of breath before this final onslaught. 40 seconds left of added time. A knockdown, but shots send it forward again. Harries heads it wide again. Down to the left-hand side. Lewis drifts onto it. He's up against the shots player, looks to get by him. Still got it. Poker ball down the left-hand side. The run through the middle from Beautyman. Can they find him? Walker has got it. Sent out to the right-hand side. Beautyman has got it. Is he going to send the ball in? Ryan Jones tackles him. Can't win the ball. Back to Dion Kelly Evans. Kai Corbett flies in. And there's a little bit of a coming together there. He had to make contact with the ball, and he did. Well done, Kai Corbett. If he mistimed that, it would have been a free kick.
It would have been a red card.
No question at all. Header back in. Frost can't stop it for the corner. It's going to be a corner. We're into added time at the end of added time. And there's an eerie hush around the ground here at the EBB. The added time is done. How much longer will referee Wayne Cartmel play? Woking have a corner. Gorman's going to take it right-footed. One arm in the air. Harry's approaching along with others. Ball in. Bounces clear. Free kick given against Woking. Free kick to Aldershot in their own box. 43, 44, 45 extra seconds have been played. Surely that's it. Surely we can't have one more chance, can we? Dewhurst fakes the goal kick because there's Woking players in front of it now. He's going to take the goal kick, sends it forward, huge. The referee blows the whistle, and it's ended honours even here at the EBB Stadium. Neither side could win it. It's finished 2-2. Here with their honest views from both camps is initially from our visitors today, Woking, John Moore, 2-2.
Well, wow, what a game. A magnificent advert for football, I think, at this level. I think Woking very much shaded the first half, obviously got an early lead. Aldershot then got an equaliser rather out of the blue. Second half, Woking took the lead, and then it was all Aldershot thereafter, and Aldershot really pegged Woking back. They really got their game together, and were it not for some magnificent saves from Will Jääskeläinen, Woking could easily have lost that game today. From Neil Nardley's perspective, I think he'll be delighted with a point, and overall pleased with Woking's performance. But to repeat again, it was a really good game, and again I'd like to pay a lot of tribute to the referee who let it flow, didn't become the centre of attention, was really good.
Yeah, I'd agree on the referee. Steve, your thoughts on the final score here and the performance of the shots this afternoon?
Yeah, I think overall Woking will be the happier of the two sides with a point. Of course, Aldershot Town will be relieved at not having lost here on Boxing Day against their local rivals, having fallen behind twice, but I think huge credit to Woking with a poor away record, a new manager. I think they're now 2 games unbeaten for Neil Ardley, unbeaten in their last 4 visits to the Ebb Stadium. So that's huge credit to Woking. Aldershot Town will feel that they should have won it for that period of ascendancy. Aldershot Town should have won it. They had enough chances, enough quality strikes of the ball, that you think just by law of averages one of those could, should, would go in. But huge credit to Will Jääskeläinen. Tyler Frost is Aldershot Town's man of the match, but the game's best player became Will Jääskeläinen for that period where he kept Aldershot Town out single-handed. The Shots will be disappointed to not have won this, but they'll also recognise that it was an excellent game, a pulsating game, a game that was a credit to the National League, and every single one of the 5,412 people here this afternoon will go away happy and excited and exhilarated by what they've seen. Shots should have won it. In the end, maybe a point is about right.
Excellent stuff. So, Adrian, you wanted to come in with a question. Steve's got the headphones on if you want to go first with it.
Well, I just wanted to say, excellent commentary, fellas. We've thoroughly enjoyed it here, and it seemed, as you say, like a pulsating game of football. I guess the incredible is, Steve, for those who don't follow the National League, they'll be looking at the table and say, how on earth can these two sides, let's face it, still both be in relegation trouble?
Absolutely, yeah. We've said it throughout the afternoon, particularly about Woking, that Woking squad and that Woking team should not be even in the slightest sniff of any relegation danger. And I think that's why, unfortunately, ultimately, Michael Doyle is no longer the Woking manager, that he wasn't able to get the best out of this squad that Neil Ardley has inherited. And it's not often that a manager inherits a squad in such good health, where the opportunities are there for a manager to really make an impact. For Aldershot Town, I think they may be reflecting adversedly on such a strong team squad last season and such a strong finish. This squad is maybe slightly punching below its weight, but on its day is still capable of troubling any team in this division, and you would hope that Aldershot Town won't be in relegation danger for very long. And yeah, I think John will probably echo what I say, but be interesting to hear his views on Woking and Aldershot Town. Yeah,
what we'll do, Adrian, while Steve passes the headphones to John, we'll just say that post-match reaction to come from both the Aldershot management team and from Neil Ardley in the next hour. But John can hear you now, Adrian, if you've got a question for him.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. Well, first of all, to all of you, I thought it was an excellent afternoon's commentary, so thank you. John, Steve answered the question there to a degree, but he was saying that this Woking squad should never really have been in any relegation trouble. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would. I thought it was interesting that the Altrincham manager said the same last week. He said, really looking at the players Woking have, they should be in the top half of the table, not the bottom half. But, we also got to remember that very late on, the club fetched in Effiong and Vincent, and they're 2 big players, I think, and they performed very, very well today. But there's no doubt in my mind that Woking look far more organised, far more aware of what they're doing. There's far more, if you like, continuity out there, whereas under Michael Doyle at times I felt the players looked bewildered. They didn't really know what they were doing, and there were far too many what we call square pegs in round holes, whereas Ardley's come in and said, right, you're a centre half, you're a winger, you're not a wing back, etc, etc, and I think that's really, really important.
Wonderful. Well, fellas, thanks very much for a very enjoyable afternoon's commentary. As Rob Worrell was saying, we will have reaction here, both online and on the radio here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. But for now, fellas, thanks very much for your commentary. Merry Christmas. And if we won't speak again, all the best for the new year as well.
Same to you, Adrian. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
So there we are. Thanks very much indeed. Let's bring you up to date because it's been a dramatic afternoon in the Premier League as well. We'll give you those scores in a moment's time, but let's go straight to Priory Lane, where Eastbourne Borough have been in action against Salisbury City. Sorry for not getting to you quicker, Kevin Anderson. What's the final score?
There's a jangly music behind me and lots of jangled nerves, but no goals on either side. Eastbourne Borough with probably 80-20 of the play, and chances. In fairness, man of the match by some way is the Salisbury keeper, Dan Lincoln. He's been around a long time, and goalkeepers get better with age, don't they? And Dan certainly stood up strong, made one or two outstanding saves and a lot of routine ones. Borough hit the post as well through Yaya Bamba. They threw everything at it, threw all 5 substitutes on, and they were all really attacking substitutions. Salisbury City a teeny bit cynical, I have to say, without wanting to ruin the Christmas spirit, and willing to run the clock down and feign a foul or two. That was a shame, but in fairness, they did defend very well, and Borough will rue the 2 points lost. It's interesting, that, Adrian, that they've now had 11 home league games. They're undefeated here at the Reach TV Stadium, but they've drawn 6 of those games, and those are precious points if they really are hoping, to go to the very summit of the table. So a bit of a disappointment for a big cheering home crowd, and silence falls around us, and it's a 0-0 scoreline, Adrian.
Kevin, thanks very much indeed. A very Merry Christmas to you, and I'm sure we'll get reaction from Kevin before we go off air here at 6 o'clock on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. Elsewhere in National League South, it finished. Dorking Wanderers 1, Worthing 2. So Dorking, who were 5th in the table ahead of this game, beaten by Worthing, who will probably move up from their 7th place. We'll confirm that in a few moments' time. Farnborough's in different form continues. They draw 0-0 at home with Hampton and Richmond, and as we're hearing at Eastbourne Borough 0, Salisbury City 0. In the Premier League, dramatic game at Stamford Bridge with Fulham scoring twice in the last 10 minutes to come from behind to beat Chelsea by 2-1. Newcastle's good form continues. They beat Aston Villa by 3-0. Villa down to 10 men after John Duran was sent up. Tottenham's in different form continues, beat by Nottingham Forest, who are going so well in the Premier League with an Anthony Elanga goal. Jarrod Bowen on target for West Ham. They win by 1-0 at Southampton, and it finishes Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0 in the early kickoff. It finished Manchester City 1, Everton 1. We'll round up all the scores. We'll get reaction as well here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey with myself, Adrian Harms.
Sports Special.
Yes, a very good evening. Welcome to a Boxing Day sports special here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. The big conference game, or the big National League game, was at the Ebb Station, where it finished a point apiece in a pulsating encounter between the Shots and the Cards.
Slips it to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans out to the right side, where the ball is picked up by Vincent. Vincent into Effiong. Effion's giving it away. Oh, back inside the area. Shot. It's in. Frank Vincent scores the goal. I think Dewhurst didn't get a clean sight of it, and he was beaten at his near post. And here we are, just 4 minutes into the second half, and Woking regained the lead through Frank Vincent against the red and blue of Aldershot Town he used to wear. Shots 1, Woking 2. Can Barrett or Jones respond here from the shot for the Shots, who trail by 2-1? Up steps Barrett. Goal! An absolute beauty from Josh Barrett. Lifted it up and round the wall, nestled in what is affectionately known in football terms as the top bins. And the Shots are level again for the second time today. Aldershot Town 2, Woking 2.
Wow. Josh Barrett was first, second and third favourite to take that.
Well, it was a terrific game of football. Full reaction to come from both camps here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey before 6 o'clock. That result leaves Woking in 17th place in the National League. They're on 25 points. Aldershot just 1 place and 1 point behind on 24 points. But it's mighty close at the bottom. Maidenhead United, the big movers today, they win their Boxing Day fixture. They're in the final relegation place on 23 points. It's mighty tight at the bottom of the conference. In National League South, Eastbourne Borough draw 0-0 at Priory Lane against Salisbury. Dorking beaten at home by Worthing by 2-1. Farnborough draw 0-0 with Hampton and Richmond. In the Premier League, Manchester City drop more points. They draw 1 apiece with Everton. Bournemouth and Palace draw 0-0. The surprise of the day coming at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea concede 2 late goals to get beaten by Fulham by 2-1. Newcastle's recent revival continues. They beat Aston Villa by 3-0. John Duran sent off in the first half for Villa. Tottenham's inconsistency continues. They're beaten by Nottingham Forest by 1-0 at the City Ground. And Southampton woes, they go on and on, beaten by Jarrod Bowen goal at St Mary's by 1-0. And disappointment for Crawley, 3 defeats in a row now for the Reds and Rob Elliott's men as they get beaten by 3-0 at Leyton Orient. The big race at Kempton Park today is won by Banbridge at 7-1. We'll reflect all of that. We'll also look ahead to Albion's game tomorrow against Brentford in the Premier League. In the final whistle here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey with myself, Adrian Hums. The Crystals here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. Welcome to the final whistle here with myself, Adrian Harms. If you're driving home from the Aldershot Woking game, I think we've got some immediate reaction coming in from the game, which we'll bring to you in a couple of moments' time. If you haven't been listening, Aldershot and Woking drawing 2 goals apiece. Let's go straight and get some reaction. I think we've got some reaction from Neil Ardley, the Josh Barrett. Let's just find that in a couple of moments' time. Let's see if we can get some reaction from it. Hello, Josh.
We'll do. Hi, Adrian. This is Rob. We've got Josh Barrett here at the point. Neil Ardley will be through to you very, very shortly. But Josh, thanks for joining us so soon after the game. I guess we should start where it effectively finished in terms of the goal scoring. You weren't well for Forest Green. You had to be content with a place on the bench today, but when you came on, you made a difference. And how good did it feel curling in that free kick at the East Bank end?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, like you said, the week before I missed the Solihull game because my daughter was in hospital, unwell, and then I obviously caught whatever she had. So I'd been ill for nearly 2 weeks, so starting to feel better now. And obviously, listen, the lads put in a really good performance against Forest Green, and it's only right. Listen, you know, sometimes you have to sit out, and I'm happy to do that. I wouldn't kick up a fuss about that. So all I knew was just come on and make a difference, and I know I can do that in every game. So but to score in front of, like, that's my first time obviously scoring in the East Bank end, so yeah, it was amazing, great feeling.
Up to that point and beyond that point, the shots really started to dominate, didn't they? There must be a feeling of disappointment in the dressing room that you didn't manage to get all 3 points in the end.
Yeah, massively. Listen, we do that probably against 90% of teams we play against, and you know, they've just said it in there, the staff, like every staff that we play against come in and say we're one of the best teams they've played against, but we can't keep having to score 4 or 5 goals to win a game. You know, it don't always work like that. Listen, sometimes people are not on it. They say, you know, you can't rely on J-Mo to score every game, you can't rely on me to score every game, or Jacko or whoever. Like, it's tough. So I think it's obviously a frustration, but the character's shown. I think listen, that probably 45 minutes of that second half was us and only us, and I think they had 1 shot on goal and scored. That's the issue at the minute, so we need to tighten up for sure. But listen, there's lots of positives, and I think when you got what's been probably gone on with us with the gaffer, obviously we miss him massively being around the place. He's such a big character, and you know, for the boys to show the character they have done in the last few weeks has been amazing. So I'm proud of everyone. I'm proud of the football club. I think it was a brilliant day today. The way the fans turned out was amazing, and we need to give them more days like that.
Absolutely, Josh. You'll have a few days to prepare. It's great this season that it's not quite the madness it normally is, so you can get some rest in and you can prepare for going to Gander Green Lane and taking on Sutton. I didn't know the final score in that one. I know they were 3-2 up at one point against Barnet, but we know their quality. They've recently been in the Football League, a little bit like Forest Green, and they're not going to be easy opponents. Nobody is in this league.
No, exactly. But we get the best preparation we possibly can. Rich and Hugo, I have to say, have done a brilliant job. They should be very, very proud of themselves with how they've handled the situation, and they set us up brilliantly. The analysis is on point every game. So listen, we'll go there with a game plan, and hopefully we come out on top.
And you're having your best season at this level now. It's been a frustrating one at times for you, but you've really started to get the form and the fitness together. And I mentioned it a few times in commentary. You've scored, I think, 8 goals this season. You've had some so near misses as well, haven't you? Yeah. Listen,
I'm someone who I'll try probably anything. Listen, I know probably some people look at me and think, I'm not in the best shape or whatever it may be. But for me, I'll be honest, I'm not playing football anymore for money or for anything like that. I've done all of that. From 17 years of age, I've been very blessed to have, looked after the way I was coming through the age groups and things like that. I'm literally playing football to enjoy it, and I have to say I'm really enjoying myself this season. I just want to keep going, keep scoring goals, keep helping my team, keep helping the football club, and see where we go.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Josh Barrett. All the best. And Adrian, back to you. My apologies. A late equaliser was there for Barnet in that game.
Yes, it was. Finished 3 apiece, Rob. Thank you very much for immediate reaction from the Ebb station. Yeah, indeed, it finished Barnet 3, Sutton United 3 in the National League. We've really had some Aldershot reaction. Let's get some Woking reaction now from the manager, Neil Ardley.
Neil, what a pulsating game, and honours even in the end, but so no bragging rights for either team, but terrific advert for National League football.
We limited Aldershot to not a lot, and we created some really nice moments ourselves, so I was really pleased with the first half. First 15 of the second, very similar, not too much in it, and then I thought obviously they made the subs, the 2 10s caused us a few problems, and Barrett, as he can, showed his real quality. And I think at that point, as we started to get tired, we started to get things more and more wrong, and obviously at that point Aldershot, it was coming on more. We couldn't retain the ball, and then it was a case of digging in. Obviously their equaliser is a wonderful goal, and at that point there's only one team likely to go and win it, and we had to dig in. We tried to change a few things, throw 2 centre forwards up, change the shape slightly, but I'm delighted with the point. I think Aldershot will feel that they did enough to win it, but we've showed a different side to maybe what we did last week, and I'm pleased with it.
I guess the majority of your work, Neil, leading up to this in such a short time would have just been about organisation. You wouldn't have had to motivate them for this game, and you got 5 at least players in your squad that are ex-Aldershot, of course.
Yeah, the atmosphere was brilliant. Even before the game, I thought both sets of fans made it quite electric. We know it's the derby, and I thought both sets of players didn't let that down. I thought there was plenty of commitment, plenty of effort, and like I say, I'm not going to lie, Aldershot probably deserved to edge it in the end with the way they finished the game strong. But I had to have qualities from my group that was not to get too down when you equalised, and to dig in and try and get the result, which we did.
Now, this match, as indeed at the Laithwaite, is always incredibly well attended. You manage some big clubs that regularly get crowds of 5,500, but within that today, 1,018 Cards fans, Neil. I mean, you've really stirred them back into life. That's tremendous support.
Yeah, we're really good. I mean, one thing I want to do, and I know the owner wants to do, is really try and bring a connect back between the first team and the fans, and obviously that has to come with performances on the pitch, because that's what makes them proud, that's what makes them get behind you, but even just going and seeing them before, clapping after, appreciating, and trying to bring it together. So if over 1,000 have turned up today, then that's wonderful, and hopefully the same will be, we'll get the same sort of crowds turning up on New Year's Day, and we'll try and pick up the points that we need to on the way to where we need to go.
absolutely. So it's an unbeaten start for you, a win at the Lathwaite against a cracking side in Altrincham, and then a good point here today. Next up, a different puzzle to solve. Maidenhead, they've beaten Wealdstone today. Two of the clubs involved in the same kind of area of the table. You'll have come up against Dev a few times, I'm sure.
Yeah, Maidenhead are the sort of team, you know, sometimes you get them and you just think, wow, these are so hard to play against. They've got so much pace. Dev always finds one or two gems in the squad. You know, when you're at the top and you're a Barnet, a York, an Oldham, you know, people say, oh, it's a winnable game. Yeah, it is, because you're such a strong side. When you're, you know, sort of in that bottom half of the table, there's no winnable games. You know, every game's tough. Every game you have to get all your habits right. And we're at that stage. I think we've got an honest bunch, a really honest bunch, and I'm trying to help them to play a bit more expressively, and you know, that's obviously, I think we've shown glimpses of it in our two games. If we need to probably just cut out conceding some goals.
Neil Ardley, the new Woking manager, speaking there to our reporter Rob Worrell. Immediate reaction here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey to what was a terrific game at the Ebb Stadium this afternoon, finishing 2 apiece. Just to reiterate the way the National League table looks, Woking now in 17th place with 25 points. Aldershot Town 1 place and 1 point behind. They're in 18th on 24 points. But it's mighty tight at the bottom. Then comes Wealdstone on 23 points, Braintree on 23, Maidenhead United, who are in the first relegation place, they're on 23, and then Fylde on 22. Boston United on 15 and Ebbsfleet on 9, are two sides who look in desperate trouble at the bottom of the table. But what we've got, 7 clubs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 7 clubs separated there by just 3 points. So it's going to be mighty close at the bottom of the table. Let's hope that those performances from Aldershot and Woking mean they can steadily pull themselves away from the relegation zone. You're listening to Saturday Sport, or what, Boxing Day Sport I should say, here on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey with myself, Adrian Harms. We'll be looking ahead in a few moments' time to the Albion's game tomorrow, a 7:30 kickoff at the Amex at Brighton against Brentford. All our build-up begins at 7 o'clock with Warren Aspinall and Johnny Cantor. We'll also reflect on some of the other news of the day, certainly in the Premier League. Chelsea beaten by 2 late goals at Fulham, at Stamford Bridge really, by Fulham by 2-1. Good win for Newcastle, beating Aston Villa by 3-0. Tottenham getting beat by 1-0 at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. West Ham with a Jarrod Bowen goal, winning by 1-0 at Southampton, and Manchester City dropping more points at home this time to Everton. We'll reflect on all of that between now and 5 o'clock, where it's time now for some music.